What's up, guys? This is Casey Bowles with the Texas Meltdown. I finally got to have a sit down with Donnie Dodson from the White Trash Wannabees. They just come out with a self-titled album, White Trash Wannabees. You can find it on iTunes and Spotify, but preferably go buy a hard copy from one of their shows because music costs money and you don't make jack shit off iTunes or Spotify. Here it is, the White Trash Wannabees. We're not really sure how we got here. What we do know is we have no fucking clue what we're doing. You got you a beer, bud? Cool.
You should have seen him. I had a beer in like the back of them.
Hold on one second. Let me start up real quick. That way this can be in the podcast. Unless it's just too bad.
No, it might be. I don't know.
I don't think anything is really just too bad for a podcast. You wanna come over here and sit down? So you can look? See what we're doing? Come here. You see that? You see how whenever we talk, it moves? So you gotta be
quiet.
Yeah, so you gotta be quiet. So we can all talk, you know. Okay? You wanna listen to us? Okay, high five. I used to be a gymnastics coach. Y'all motherfuckers didn't know that. I can talk to kids. I can get a kid to do anything, man. Like, you want a kid to be quiet, just send them to me for a minute. I'll get them to be quiet.
Man, need you over here all the time.
You gotta be assertive and cool at the same time.
Gymnastics coach? I didn't know you were a gymnast guy.
Dude, I owned a gym in Lindale for like a year.
Damn.
It was fun, man. It was so cool. Me and my cousin owned it. It was just, I don't know shit about gymnastics, but apparently it's really easy to coach it.
So what happened? How'd you lose it?
We sold it.
Oh.
Made some money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everybody quit. They said they didn't trust that other bitch. I felt so bad. I was like, ain't nothing I can do about that though, man. Like, it's technically not my fault, you know, that they didn't trust that lady. Maybe I should have divulged to the moms that, hey, we're probably selling. But that probably would have ruined the sale, you know, so I couldn't do that. It's business, man. It's business. Business and personal is two different things. Sometimes somebody ends up getting fucked just so you don't. You know, why should I take a fucking... I don't think it's an asshole move.
I completely like what you're saying. I'll give you my money.
I agree.
Give me my money.
So anyway, the other day you had some beer.
Yeah. I was right around my kid in the little pocket in the back of the seat. I guess I left the beer back there. And then I hear him talking about, I got my beer, Daddy. I turn around. He had in his little cup holder showing up a beer. Thank God he didn't know how to open it yet. I was like, man, that's all I need to get pulled over by a cop and him be over there just like, you got my beer, sir.
You got your beer, officer? I remember when I was a kid, my dad would like every once in a while he'd give us a swig of his beer, like we'd ask for one. And it was like it was nasty, you know, we just did it 'cause it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, we thought it was cool for him to give us a little swig of it. And like one time I got feisty with it and I just chugged it. And like he beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, they'd always do that. Like growing up, every once in a while, especially once I got 13, 14 years old, give you one beer.
Oh, listen, if we were like fucking 5.
Yeah.
But whenever I was 14 was whenever I was able to start like, you know, kind of drinking socially with like my brother at his parties and stuff.
Well, no, they'd give us a beer, like the family reunions or something like that. We'd get it with them, and our family reunions wasn't like 3 or 4 hours out with, you know, a bunch of the old people. No, it was like 3 or 4 days with a bunch of musicians.
That's what I was about to say. Ours was like 3 or 4 days. It was all rich people, and we weren't rich. So like by the end of the weekend, there'd be like all the 13, 14-year-olds be all puking off the back of the pavilion because we went to Lake Whitney back then. Now we go to Lake of the Pines. But it'd be all the young kids just puking their guts up, and I guess I don't know what the parents were doing. I mean, I'm guessing they were making fun of us because that's what I would do nowadays.
They just trying to get y'all to leave them alone.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, quit asking, because one parent would let their kid do it, and then it was just like we'd bug our parents. No, finally, it's like, you know what? Fuck it, get drunk. Like no one was gonna puke.
I
Back
guess I
then,
was always a kid that was passed out in the field.
you know what? Whenever I was in high school, like I hung out with Josh Johnson and them, and we was a rough group, man. So like, if somebody was puking, like it was nothing for like somebody to walk up and be like, man, you're not puking alone, and then Josh Johnson or Allen go over and start gagging themselves and puke next to you, and then we'd all go back to drinking. Hey, we were good friends to each other, man. You know, that's how it is. That's how it should be.
I don't think I've ever done that with any of my
I think
friends.
that's probably why we're not really as tight as what we used to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah. You had to make a couple people puke coming out of like Skinner's or franchise or whatever.
But if somebody started gagging, we'd be over like making gagging noises, just trying to get them to puke. And then like after that was when we start gagging ourselves with them. It's kind of pointless. Like it's almost trying to get them to puke so we could also puke, and it made them look like the pussy.
But you'd be empty. You'd be able to drink more.
Yeah, no, we would immediately.
Puke
Because
and
when you're
rally.
like 15 years old, 16 years old, man, like you can puke, start drinking again. Nowadays, I die. If I puke, I'm going to sleep somewhere.
Now, if I puke, I'm finna get drunk. Like drunk.
One time, somebody roofied my beer at Shooters, and I remember I went to the bathroom and I puked, and I come outside, and I flattened the front of my hat on Rayleigh's bar, standing up, and it was sleep, passed out for like 30 minutes. And they said nobody fucked with me. Because everybody just walked by, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Somebody put something in my drink. I had to.
I had a buddy who went to a bike rally with me like that one time, and he got drunk, and he's one of them fighting drunk people.
Oh.
And then he went tried to find that guy he was mad at, and I guess he found him, and he knocked him out in the middle of a bunch of people, and they just didn't realize. They thought he was just drunk. They just stepping over him.
Your buddy got knocked out, or the other guy did?
No, my buddy got knocked out. And they just stepping over, and finally some girl over there like flips him over and sees he's just bloody and screwed up, broke his orbital bone or something, and he was messed up. They called the ambulance. So I get a phone call talking the next day like, you know this man named this, and I was like, yeah. They're like, well, he's at the hospital. Go get him. And I show up over there, and he's smoking weed at the front of the hospital, waiting on me to come get him. Done got his butt kicked. Whatever though. Good times.
I've already had a whole episode about Matt, so I can say this. Matt's one of them people, my other roommate. He's one of them people, like, you lose him for 5 minutes, man. Like, you just go pee, and somebody's going to come get you while you're peeing. I mean, Matt's outside with the cops. He's trying to fight them, and he done punched somebody. And I was like, God damn, man. And that's shocking, you lose somebody for 5 minutes. Imagine losing somebody all night, and the next day you get a phone call. This nigga's in the hospital, dog. Like, he probably come get him.
That's where he went.
Yeah.
Well, thank God I took his truck keys that night, because I was like, I better get your keys just in case. And so I had his keys, and I went and got him, and I just was shocked that he was still smoking weed out in front of the deal. And he said he woke up in a CAT scan, and my dad was in there with me, and he's hearing the phone call, and he said, woke up in a trash can? It's one thing to whoop a man's ass, but don't throw him in a trash can. I said, no, Dad, he woke up in a CAT scan. Said he thought he got abducted by aliens. And he woke up, and he's like, whoa, God, I come to, and the doctor, after he got out of that CAT scan, he's like, well, your weed's over there on the counter. Get it and get out.
That's like the one time that it's almost okay to wake up and think you got abducted by aliens. That machine is scary as shit.
Yeah.
And you got a metallic taste in your mouth. So everything points towards abduction. I should have had you strapped down. Hope to God it did.
I don't know.
It's a $100 machine, not to strap down a passed out guy that could wake up at any moment.
Freak out. At least they wasn't shoving nothing up his butt, I guess. That's the
Could
only
you
thing he was
imagine waking up and legitimately thinking you just got abducted by aliens? Holy shit.
I wrote a song I'm writing a song about it. It's amazing. I've got 3 or 4 of my friends that have done some really just dumb things, and maybe one verse might be about me too. I've done some dumb stuff as well, but it's one of the verses about getting woke up in the CAT scan thinking you got abducted by some aliens. It's gonna be pretty
And
funny.
that rhymes.
Yeah.
Man.
Especially about the time, like the Area 51 right now.
Yeah, no, it's perfect timing.
Dude, they showed up too, and they had a raid.
Yeah. Well, they had helicopters and everything. There's pictures all over.
Yeah, just,
Showed up and had an EDM festival right outside the gates of Area 51.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
hey, I wish I'd have been
That's the
there.
best way it could have went. Think about it.
Probably
I thought it
better,
was going to end.
better than Burning Man this year. It was the raid at Area 51 because you get the right 200 people around each other. It's better than the wrong 50,000 or whatever that.
You know, some of the what are they called? Like the trusty aliens went out there and was like thumping with them motherfuckers. It's like, let's turn the humans real quick. Like, thump these bitches.
Well, growing up in Linden, back in the day, it was like a fun thing to do. Everybody used to go out to that Witch's Tabernacle, and you just get a few people that were just bored as hell, and they just go out there sitting in the woods waiting on people to show up just so they
Scare
can.
the fuck out of
Yeah,
them.
just fuck with them.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
I was the one getting scared. I wasn't the one in the woods.
I every time I went out there, I was alone. Or I say alone, 2 or 3 of my buddies, but nobody ever messed with me.
Well, I only went out there to fuck.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Well, nowadays
That's
it's
some
not big of a
that's
deal.
some freaky shit. That's some freaky
It's like we literally had nothing better to do though. There was nothing better to do. Like we couldn't sit at home and play on Facebook, on our phones. We had to have a computer. We had to have a computer to get on Facebook and MySpace, legitimately. So we'd have to either be sitting at a computer or you'd be out riding back roads doing dumb shit. Well, Tabernacle and Lacey's Bridge was that dumb shit.
Yeah.
But Lacey's Bridge, man, I would tell you, I don't believe in ghosts and all that, but one time we had some fucked up shit happen to us, man. So we're out there, and my buddy Jay, rest in peace, he just died not too long ago. He had a motorcycle wreck, but he decides, like, we always peed off the bridge. It's like our own ritual. And we got out the truck, and he's like, fuck Lacey. Like, he's like going off, pissed off. Dude, whenever it went from a dead calm summer night to like the wind blowing trees sideways, dog. Yeah. All of a sudden. And then quit as soon as we all got in the truck. We were like, okay, I'm not sure if that's a coincidence or not, but we ain't gonna take no fucking chances. Like, that's some wild shit. And like I said, I don't believe in ghosts or nothing, and I'm pretty sure it probably was just a random pickup of the wind. But it got crazy there for a minute.
I know somebody was fitting to fuck you up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it was, but wasn't sticking around to find out either. I mean, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm also not a retard. Like, I'm not going to stick around. Yeah, if shit starts floating in the air, I'm not going to be like, hey, I bet that's a ghost. I'm getting the fuck out of there. I don't want to know if it's a ghost.
Yeah, I ain't going to go check out nothing like that. I just leave, no matter what, for sure.
I like how in the wintertime, after all the leaves fall off the trees, you can look out there to the side of Lacey's Bridge and still see the old wooden pillars out there. Have you ever looked at that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see them out there. They're if you're coming from Linden, it'd be to your left. If you're coming from Jefferson, it'd be on your right.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Just because, it really did used to be like a little bitty-ass wooden bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I remember Jared's grandpa used to tell us a story. It really wasn't even that cool of a story, but he told us like 8 times. And it was always about how he had to drive a big-ass dozer across that little bitty rickety-ass bridge. And the tracks was hanging off both sides. Now that I run equipment, that'd be a cool story for me to tell people.
Yeah.
But we were 8 years old. We don't know shit about rickety-ass bridges and dozers. It's like, so what? You went over a bridge.
But it is wild, though, to have that bridge half mile long in the middle of nowhere. It is kind of wild, If you ain't wrote your name on that bridge and you're from within 50 miles from here, then what you really been doing with your life?
One time, me, Corey Kaysen, James Metcalf, and I don't remember who else was with us. It's just one other person. We packed out Kathy's car, her little Malibu or whatever it was she had. We all jumped into it, and we went and bought a bunch of sparklers. They didn't know how to make a sparkler bomb. Well, I thought I did. Apparently, I didn't know how to make them right. It exploded, but I'll get to that in a minute. So we set it off in the middle of the bridge, and then we backed the car up, 100 foot or so, and Corey's standing there watching. I go around, I light I left one end, I taped it real good, I lit it, and we're waiting on it, and something shoots off and ricochets off the door in front of Corey's face and blows up right above him, and we never made another sparkler bomb again. But it's just so crazy. It's out in the middle of fucking nowhere, man.
Like a grenade.
Yeah. Oh man, it was fucking wild.
I blow up plenty of shit.
I've made sparkler bombs at the house, and they work. But I don't know what I did different, man. But that son of a bitch shot off like a rocket.
So we always did like 2 packs of sparklers, taped them all together, but we'd always bury a hole.
Yeah.
That way it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, you just plant it.
Maybe
down
you're not
there.
supposed to do it on concrete.
Maybe.
And maybe you're supposed to, like, turn it sideways, you know, like, parallel to you. Or not parallel, what would it be? I don't know, fucking, to where the ends are facing out towards the sides of the bridge instead of, like, right at you. Because it's going one way or the other, you
That'd
know.
probably be smart, but it doesn't sound like Casey's idea.
No.
Bro, I thought that up just now, you fucking prick.
I don't know, if you go to Lacey's right now, though, speaking about, like, burnouts and stuff like that, I don't know. So I just bought these tires. They were cheap at a Ore City.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, whatever.
Can't admit to misdemeanors.
Yeah.
You can. I'm just kidding. Nobody, no cops. I actually have cops listen to this.
But if you look at one side all the way to the other, there's 2 sets. And I still hold it to this day.
Oh, I did the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
That's a long burnout.
Well, I did one set down. I came back, and then that didn't work out so well because I ended up fucking up my rim. But
Dang.
How'd you do that? You blew them smooth the fuck out, didn't
I
you?
blew one, yeah, on the right side. But it was pretty
Fucking
cool.
kids these days, though. Could you imagine?
Cause
we
you
did
the only-
burnouts too. We didn't fucking burn the tires smooth off this bitch.
I was drunk. It was a franchise night, but the only bad thing was is there was never a fucking video. Nobody ever thought about it.
Yeah, well,
That's a bad thing. So I mean, I can't sit here and admit it.
hell, back in the day, you remember where we used to live out there in Zion Hill? All the way from that church, all the way to that shop where we always used to party at was exactly 1 mile. And my buddy, he just got some brand new 50s put on the back of his truck, and he did a burnout the
50s?
whole way. Like two stripes, 1 mile long. By the time he gets out there in front of the garage, there's like sparks flying and all this shit. I was like, you just spent all these like $1,000 on tires, and you're going to have to get new tires tomorrow probably, you goofy son of a bitch. But baddest burnout I ever seen. A whole mile long. 2 of them. Not 1, 2 of them rolling.
What kind of motor did it take to fucking turn them 50s?
I mean, he was probably power braking the whole way. That's
A
why
redneck
everything.
shit, a redneck
Yeah,
motor. That's what
yeah.
that was. That was one of them motors, like a 350, but had the power like a 454. Nobody knows why.
I think that's kind of what it was.
Family secret.
It was a standard freaking 350. That truck's still going this day.
I remember Jared one time. We borrowed.
Oh, you got yours in there. You need a beer?
Sure.
Me and Jared Sharp. Well, we got Lane Till. You know Lane Till?
Yeah.
We got him to let us. Remember that big ass red truck he used to have whenever he was like 16, 17? His daddy bought it for him. It was a big old Hemi, 4-door. And some of it just had like a 9 inches of lift. It's a huge truck. Well, Jared also had a huge truck, but it wasn't the same huge truck. Jared wanted to drive his truck to prom. So, in Jefferson. So, we take Lane's truck, and the next day we're taking it back. And to get to Hughes Springs, we was going to take through Lacey's Bridge, you know, because Jared lives on Dump Ground Road, except on the Jefferson side.
Yeah.
And Jared's like, I'm going to do a burnout. He forgot to take it out of four-wheel drive because back up to the night before, after prom, we had this truck with 9 inches of lift and like fucking 40s on it, up to its headlights in water and mud. And like we had to call this guy that owned the property. I remember whose place we were at. There's people I didn't even know. They had to call their dad to bring a dual-wheel tractor to come pull this fucking truck out. That's not even ours. Okay? Not even ours. And we get to Lacey's Bridge, and Jared's like, I'm just doing burnout. And he had forgot to take it out of four-wheel drive. So he like locks the front up, and it blows out the transfer case. And does a burnout all the way down this bridge with transmission fluid everywhere. And like we get it back to Lane, and Jared's like, I don't know what happened to it, man. You know, and Lane's like, Lane never had money. You know, Lane was rich as shit. Like his dad wasn't gonna ask no questions. The only people that knew that this even happened was him and Jared and me. So Lane was like, oh man, it's cool. I just put it on my dad's credit card. And I was like, if somebody did that to my fucking truck, holy shit, dude. Like, I might have to beat somebody with a 2x4 or something over that.
Well, one time we was opening up for Big Smo
He's cool, dude.
Yeah, he is cool. He's cool. We had a good time. He actually got up and sang a song with us. And after we get done, he's like, y'all come over here and drink some of my shine, boys. So we go drink some shine, and we go play. We had another show we had to play that night after that. Like after he got done playing, we was playing the after party. And, well, we get hammered. And we would borrow my buddy Aubrey's truck. And he's hammered too. So we were all like passed out, and we had my old lady driving. And we had to get full drive to get to where the after party was. So she didn't ever even think about it. Didn't ever take it out of forward drive. She said she never woke us up or nothing. The next day she's like, I don't know what the deal's wrong with the truck, but it wouldn't go but like 30 the whole way home.
Yeah, 4 low.
Yeah, she's like, just wouldn't go nowhere. I was like, and his truck was never the same after that. He's like, dog. But
had a little rattle in it somewhere.
Yeah,
you could never find that rattle.
he said cruise control never worked, and it was just never right. He ended up getting rid of the truck, but I was like, God, dog, man, how do you not know that? But anyway.
We don't want to get no fight started between you and your wife over some bullshit.
No.
I met Big Smo through Scott Johnson from Red Dirt Hurricane, you know, the energy drink Red Dirt Hurricane.
Yeah.
So I used to work with that guy. He was the dude that went out and got work. He was like the consultant for the pipeline company for Barrio. And, because back then they didn't they sponsored like Whiskey Myers, and they were nobodies, you know, and like he had connections to Big Smo and people like that. But it was back before any of them people got big, so he wasn't making any money off this. Like every bit of their profit went right back into the company. But he worked with us, so after he ended up quitting at the company, but he stayed in touch with us, so we go get Fuller rides, and like I get to meet like Kevin Fowler, like we got to chill with Big Smo all night, and he was just like he had a young kid for the longest drumming for him.
Yeah.
Like he had like a 15-year-old kid drumming for him. It's Big Smo, you know damn well he's doing lines of coke in the back, and there's like a 15-year-old kid drumming for him, and that's just hanging out with everybody. And I'm like, that kid's never gonna be right.
Well, I think he found his guitar player off YouTube or something. You know, Big Smo got famous like almost overnight.
Yeah.
From, like YouTube or something like that. And so like when we played with him, he had some kid look like a Viking or something, real long bleach blonde hair, but like clean, like shaven. It was a weird looking kid. But I was like, how'd you meet Smo? He's like,
Like
man.
Hitler's idol.
Yeah, he found me off YouTube, and I was like, this is weird as hell. I've never could imagine just throwing a band together that you don't have a clue who anybody is, and just putting them together and getting on a tour bus and traveling for 300 days out of the year, you know, like, come on.
And other than Big Smo's voice, every once in a while you tell it was lip synced, but like their band was actually playing.
The guitar player is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really good, actually. And Smo, when he got up there and played with us, he obviously sang it, and he did all that. And I was like, well, I mean, it wasn't really my thing, but we just happened to know one Big Smo song then, and I was like, okay, we just throw like 20 seconds in one of these other songs as a medley. I was like, should we do it? And I was like, I think he'll appreciate it, because I would appreciate if somebody else did that with us. Don't play the whole song if it's one of their main songs. But then all of a sudden I started playing that 20 seconds of it, and he just jumps up there and grabs the mic and sang the whole song with us, and then party with us all night. So.
You know, him and Colt Ford got away with it, because Colt Ford was the first to do the whole country rap thing. And his songs were actually really good. The lyrics of them were actually pretty good. But then Big Smo was like the thug motherfucker that come up there and sang country songs. He's the first one to do it like a thug. Colt Ford, have you ever met Colt Ford?
Yeah.
He's just like a fat fucking white guy fucking with a Fu Manchu, you know. He's like everybody's
like the
dad
rest
out there rapping on a microphone.
Actually,
you know?
a really good golfer. Like, he's kind of like not like what you would expect when you listen to his stuff.
And then you meet Big Smo, who's
And-
like thug as fuck, like wearing baggy jeans and baggy shirts. Like, he ain't even trying to be country. He's just wanting to rap about some country shit.
Yeah.
So he got away with it. But everybody else after that failed tremendously.
Well, the Lax kind of had their little thing for a second, I guess, you know.
I don't think I've ever heard of... I've heard of the Lax, but I don't think I've ever listened to one of
We
their
opened
songs.
for them guys, too, and that was one of the coolest shows we ever played. Like, bar was, like, sold out. We played, and they were really cool. They actually played with a band. Like, we played with the Moonshine Bandits. They didn't have no band, and I didn't really like that, which I think they do have a band now. But No, the Lax got out there and they pretty much had. It seemed like there was 2 guys rapping with a band just like the White Trash Wannabees behind them. So, but they were cool as hell. I partied with them at the hotel room.
So the fucking Lax got famous from copying off y'all?
That's
fucked up, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what
so
I said.
you basically made the Lax.
I did.
That's wild as fuck,
I
dude.
made them. Like, yeah,
I had no clue.
Everybody
I
was
in
there.
In that guy's living room.
I was there. Like we opened like that's how the big time people do. They play first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, White Trash Wannabees just come out with an album, and it's fucking awesome. It's so amazing. I'm so glad y'all finally come out with a real deal full-length album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on Spotify and iTunes and everything. I would suggest you buy the hard copy because that's where it sounds the best, because just like my show, whenever I listen to it on my program, it sounds 10 times better than what it sounds like whenever I put it on fucking iTunes.
Definitely. No.
And the CD itself, man, like I didn't even realize my radio had a little thump to it until I put that's the first CD I ever put in that fucking CD player. I was like, damn, son, these speakers got a little bass to them.
Yeah, people don't really buy CDs no more now. A lot of these cars don't come with CD players. So yeah, it's on Spotify, Google Play, all that stuff. So yeah, go get it wherever you can. But yeah, preferably if you want to help out the band, come get the hard copy because they give you pennies on the dollar on the other deal. But no, the CD sounds amazing. It took us a long time to God, we've been playing for a long time. But once we finally got in the studio, it all seemed to kind of come together. And and hopefully we sell enough of this, we're gonna get the next album coming out as well pretty soon. Hopefully in the next year or so.
Yeah, you said you're at 75% of it, like.
Yeah, I mean, pretty close to that for sure. We've got the base.
Well, like 72.
Yeah, we've got the base of like more or less every song that's gonna be on there, whether they're all completely 100% done. But to tell you the truth, when we were in the studio with this stuff, we didn't have it all completely 100% done as well, which I wouldn't recommend. Spend a little bit more money, what you want, but no, pretty much we know every song that's gonna be on the next album. Pretty much, we just gotta fine tune that and obviously make some money because this one cost us a lot of change to make. But yeah, we're real happy with the way it turned out, for sure.
Support your local bands, for sure.
Yeah, fuck
right.
yeah, dude. Support local music.
Anybody.
And
Or any
I don't
business.
like the people that are never gonna go more than local. Y'all play fucking everywhere, like some random ass places, like just like out there places that you'll still pack out a place because just for some reason everybody in some town across the United States would be like, we fucking love the White Trash Wannabe. It's like, how do y'all even know? It's kind of like it's the same thing with my podcast. Like, how does some random ass town just blow up in?
Well, that's one good thing about the internet. Like it's real good to be able to get the word out. But I mean, also, I liked it back in the day when nobody had phones at your shows. It was more of a party because people wasn't just like staring at their phone the whole damn time or trying to record you live or something stupid. Everybody's actually into the thing and actually enjoying it. But also, how could people know about us down in Padre or anywhere? And so it's kind of a double-edged sword kind of thing. Like obviously we want to play as far out as we can, but man, we show like playing kind of half-ass close where everybody have a good time with us.
What did it say?
Yeah, it does. Come on. Yeah.
Who is it?
Sean.
Shauna.
I don't know how to
Shauna who?
bartender.
Yeah,
Earlier.
from Skinner's.
She come out here. Yeah.
Oh, that girl with the thick ass? Or the big bitch?
Well, big titties.
She,
It was the big bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't have to just say the big titties.
Oh, my bad.
And one of them that was like
That's
8
the only
foot
way I
tall.
identify
I'm a little
her.
guy. I'm a little
don't
guy.
act like you ain't done something.
Oh yeah, no man. I tell you what, you know what? I'll go ahead and tell one on myself. So one time I come in from where was I at? I was working out of town somewhere, and I need to go see my granddad. I don't remember why I even had to go to Lindale. But so I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay at my granddad's. Well, there's this little bitty bar outside of Lindale on the interstate called Stone Country.
I remember that
And
place.
it's
I
way
played there.
the fuck out in the middle of nowhere on
Yeah.
the interstate, man. There's like not There's one convenience store close to it, but it's like a Valero that sells like the extra long T-shirts and shit in
Yeah,
it.
right beside it though.
Yeah, and oh yeah, it's at that exit.
Yeah, I know, I played that.
It's at the 16 exit.
Yeah.
And anyways, I go in there. My buddy Ryan, who had come off the pipeline before the one I was on at that time, he was like, "Man, me and my girlfriend gonna be up here. And we got some friends up here. Come on." And I'm like, "What's the horror situation looking like?" And he's like, "Man, they up here." And I'm like, "I ain't never been there." So I go there. I guess this some bitch forgot I was like 138, 40 pounds. You know, like, yeah, I get maybe a grown ass man, but I'm not a grown ass man. I'm like a grown ass boy. And dude, I was sitting there for a minute, and I'm trying to keep to myself and just talk to my buddy and his girlfriend. And this big girl like kept coming by and like rubbing her hand on my back. I mean, this bitch was huge, man, like over 300. And she wasn't much taller than me.
Damn.
And yeah. And she kept rubbing her hand on my back. I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta get out of here. Well, Ryan's like, hey, that's Rachel's cousin. And she says she's gonna break you in half tonight. And I'm like, no, she's not. Well, I drank about another 6-pack. And I'm like, I'm gonna take this big bitch home. so I was just like laid over. I chugged my beer. I laid over. I'm like, yeah, she's sitting like 2 chairs down, leaned back. I'm like, hey, I don't even know this bitch's name. Like, I didn't even talk to her. I didn't even spoke the first word. And I'm like, hey, I'm about to leave. You know, I go tab out. You tab out. I didn't even pay her tab. Like, you tab out after me and just meet me at my truck. I drive a white Tacoma. And this big, didn't even say okay. Just stood up out of her seat, followed me to the bar, paid out after me, followed me out the door. And oh yeah, I know why I had to come in. That was the day before Thanksgiving, because the next morning I had to get her out quick at like 7 a.m. And I'd done been up fucking this all night. I was tired as shit. But the good thing is I got to go by a Starbucks. I wasn't going to get to do that unless that happened. So I guess I got Starbucks out of the deal. It was good. Yeah. She had a good time, and I ain't gonna lie, I had a good time.
I mean, she's not here. We don't know. But, I mean, yeah, I played out there one time.
What do you mean?
I played out there one time at Stone Country. The band Relentless from Texarkana asked me to come play lead guitar for them. And I went out there, and the owner that used
shutting this motherfucker down.
The owner that used to own that place thought he was a DJ. So he's like, y'all just play for like 45 minutes and let me DJ for like 30 minutes. And he was over there like acting like he's doing this thing. Like, and I was like, this is horrible, man. Like, it's a cool place. There's a lot of people, but like, how is this guy DJing like half the time and just screwing the party up? And we're over here actually doing all right. And, but I like that place. I broke down there twice now. I ran out of gas on the way to the studio to record the album. And the only gas station you was talking about, the only reason why I know there's a gas station right there is because I ran out of gas about half a mile before that place. And then Dustin and the band, they're like, all right, this is your ride. You ran out of gas. You're going to get the gas.
I was about to say, you didn't make them walk, did you?
I should have put Jay out there because Jay's pretty, and he could have got picked up a lot faster. But to tell you the truth, I barely walked down there like 100 yards, and some guy picked me up. And he didn't ask anything weird. He just took me to get gas and brought me back and everything. It was really cool. He's like, I ain't going to let no rock and roll looking dude stay out there walking and stuff. I was like, thank God. Because we was...
Fucking rock and roll, man. Never died.
We was on our way.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I was like, everybody that like looked like wholesome people looking at me like, they ain't stopping for nothing. And some guy in like some little Mustang picked me up and took me, get gas, brought me all the way back. And thank God, because we had a schedule to go over there to the studio, and it took us whatever 9-10 days anyways to record the album. We almost didn't make it that day, so I was like, well, I appreciate that because we was paying for that day no matter what, because you got to pay for the days in advance, yeah. And we already.
What studio did you use?
Empire Sound Studios in Dallas. He's amazing, Alex Gerst.
No affiliation with Empire Records.
No, not Empire Records. This guy.
You remember that movie?
Yeah.
From back in the day, Empire. That was a good ass movie.
Well, this guy, it ain't the Empire you think about. This guy's a crazy Star Wars fan. He's like, so he if you go look him up online, he'll have like him doing the Star Wars theme, but heavy metal, and he's dressed up just like Darth Vader, and just like a stormtrooper doing this thing, and it's
I've seen that before, and that's that guy.
Yeah, that's that guy. It ought to be viral because it's amazing what he done. It's top notch. But I mean, obviously it should be. Like the day we got there, Bob Marley's son had just left, and so like he's real serious about.
I know you don't smoke weed, but you would have when you.
Yeah, I probably would have thought real serious about it. But what's funny is he won't let nobody smoke in the studio. He's like, I don't care what y'all do, y'all ain't smoking nothing in my studio. And I was like, Bob Marley's son was just here. He says, I don't care. Snoop Dogg was just here. I'd make him smoke outside. And I was like, okay, Alex. So.
He didn't care about like stains on the tables or nothing.
He didn't.
He only said that because Snoop Dogg wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, but he was like fooling with like doing stuff for.
I guess as long as you don't like pop your bag up and powder go everywhere, it's not dangerous.
You know, no. He didn't want us bringing no like live animals in there. He didn't want us doing that. But no, we did all our drugs outside.
So pretty much they told you I couldn't have live animals in there?
No, he didn't.
I don't know what I would do if somebody was like, you cannot have live animals. Is it like we got a fucking animal with us, man? Like I got a tiger in the back, but I mean, shit, he's going to chill out there.
He probably wouldn't have minded live animals, actually, but he wasn't about to have no drugs in there. But, I mean, he's also, the studio we was at, it's so big, there was like 3 studios going on, and they're doing like classes, so there's even some like young kids in there like running around and like doing stuff, so you never
knew. It's
knew.
like a legit studio.
Yeah, like a big studio. I mean, there's 3 whole studios inside one studio, but we just had one section, the big part, that he would do the stuff with. And, no, I mean, he was really cool about it. I mean, we could pretty much do whatever we want. We could drink in there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, he wasn't about to stop that because, you know, with the White Trash Wannabees and stuff. But
nice name drop.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
well, I mean, and we could have done some stuff that didn't smell like very much, you know, if we wanted to. We did all the drugs outside.
it's really respect. I tell you what, whenever I was smoking pot, you know, I always went to my truck, or I always went away, unless the people I was with, you know, the place we were at, like if they were stoners, like yes, we would all chief up there.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I was at somebody's house that I knew didn't like weed, or like I wasn't sure, I was going out to my truck. But even with me being that respectful, without even asking, you know, just being like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and go out here. Like some stoners be like, hey man, that's pot. I'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, let's walk out the door and light up. I'm like, no, let's go out here to the truck and we'll light up. You know, like I was already that respectful. I would still get bitched out all the time. Like, we ain't having no fucking dope out here. I'm like, dude, it was fucking pot. First of all, don't call it dope because my dad does that and I fucking hate it. And the second thing is I'm respectful enough to come out here to my truck away from everybody. Like, the only reason you knew this is somebody passed by my truck and my windows were kind of, it was hazy up in that bitch, you know.
Yeah.
So there was some snitch in the first place. And then on top of that, like, don't bitch me. One time me and Shay Absher, you ever heard of Shay Absher band? Oh, they're kind of like a big Texas country band now. And one night I met them in Lindale at Music City at Nights of Texas Music Bar and Grill or whatever. No, not Lindale, not Lindale.
Oh, the Lindale thing.
Yeah, you know, it used to be Love and War.
Yeah.
Now it's the Texas Music.
Oh, it ain't Love and War no more?
No, man. Ty still owns it. Ty Phelps still owns it.
Miranda's still part of it, I'm sure. So.
Well, I mean, she put money in it. She don't ever show up.
Yeah.
I got drunk with her dad and Kevin Fowler one time. It's fun. Blake Shelton took that. I've done explain this in this podcast like 3 times. That's how fucking mad I am about it. Blake Shelton bought her dad a kangaroo for like some kind of special kind of like his birthday or something. And they got a divorce. The motherfucker went to his house and took it back.
I think it's classic. Hey, take it back.
Fuck that.
No, I think
You're not taking my kangaroo. But anyways, I was there.
No,
and
I wouldn't give it up. It'd be hard for me to give it up.
I met the Shay Absher band, and the bartender, Reagan, who really is a sweet girl, but she hates weed. She needs to get over it. I can always tell that. I'm like, you know what? Like, if you get past me smoking weed, like, we'd have something. And but anyway, other than that, we go out to her house, and like me and Shay are over by the van. Like we're parked a ways away from it. We're parked 50 yards from the fire. And me and Shay out there, you know, we're gonna burn down this J real quick. Dude, she comes out there in the middle of this J. It's been 10 minutes since we pulled up. Like we definitely ain't done with this J. If all y'all gonna do is smoke dope, y'all just need to fucking leave. This bitch calls it dope too. I'm like, that's how you can always tell that somebody's being over exaggerated about fucking weed. They call it dope. I'm like,
figure out who the rat is.
yeah. Like I get it. If you come out here and was like, hey, quit smoking weed, I'd be like, okay. We call it dope. You already hit something in me deep down. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna smoke this J whether you want me to or not, and then I'll leave.
Well, one of the first times I ever hung out with my buddy Aubrey, went to this one dude's house. He's an asshole, and I'll say he's an asshole to his face. Anyways, as soon as I walk in his place, he's like, "Hey, there ain't no smoking weed in my house." And I was like, "I don't even smoke weed. You know, that's not my DOC." And so I was like,
DOC, I love it.
Well, so I go over there.
What's DOC mean?
What?
Drug of choice.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
Just to clarify.
Okay. I was like,
That's like the HNIC.
No.
Yeah, we ain't gonna tell you all the goddamn things.
what
Anyways,
does HNIC mean? How can I?
anyway, we're the white trash woman. We don't need no race.
Yeah, it's already bad enough to go white
Yeah.
trash Wannabees.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I was like, okay, I'm gonna
Jesus Christ, that would shut my whole. I bet iTunes would shut me down if you said the N word with an A on the end of it.
Yeah,
like, oh
right.
my God, they'd be like, no, these white trash motherfuckers.
Yeah, it get reported like immediately. Like you ain't had nothing reported the whole time.
It'd probably about be some automated shit. Like nobody would have to report it. It'd be like, okay, so
Yeah.
niggas said in it and then white trash at the same time.
The algorithm they
They're
say.
gone.
You know the algorithm.
Yeah, done. They gonna take your album off iTunes.
Yeah, I'm surprised they probably hadn't done something like that because we got one. We just called it white trash, even though it's white trash, like it's a bad thing or whatever. But no, I was hanging out with that one dude and he said that, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna look past this, and then I go over there to sit down, and he's like, oh, that's my chair. And I was like, your chair? We're having a party. Is this
If
a
I
party?
get about this chair, I'm coming up with an uppercut.
I know. I was like, I'm a nice guy. I was like, you know what? I don't even know him very well. I was like, I'm leaving. And then we took everybody there because he's like, my buddy, he's like, I ain't staying here. He's going to be an asshole like that. Fuck him. So we took like all these like 20, 30 people with us. We just fucking loaded out of the place. And I was like, fuck that guy, man. Like, first thing you do, you try to say this, assuming I smoke weed just because I got long hair and shit, play guitar. And then gonna be a dickhead, like say I can't fucking sit somewhere. No, fuck off.
I don't
man.
blame the guy for like thinking that you did smoke weed. I'm mad at the guy for being a dick about it.
No, I mean,
because
exactly.
you really do look like
no,
you
if he would have come over to me and be like, hey man, hey,
we can all agree on that.
no, I look like believe me, and anytime anybody offers it to me, I take it and I give it to my friends or my
Yeah, I was about to say,
little
you
brother,
never
maybe.
like if I hand it to you, you know me, it's pass to the next guy.
Yeah,
I
nah, for sure.
I take a hit. I'm like, no, you won't,
this one person,
motherfucker.
they had this big old thing, like a big box full of weed, and they was like, hey man, take all you can. And I was like, well, I don't do it, but hell, I know people who do, so I grabbed as much as I could
Grab a
hold.
pound.
Yeah, I grabbed like.
You'd be the best friend in the fucking world
Yeah.
if you come up to me. It's like a handful of weed, dude. I took this from a party. They gave it to me.
Damn right. Hey, I did that.
Here, get some.
I brought it. What would have been real bad is if I'd have got pulled over that night and then get in trouble for some weed that I was like, I swear it's not for me. It's for somebody. Oh, so you're selling it now? No, well, no, not exactly. Well, okay, just get in the
It's
back.
not
of
even
the,
in a bag, man. It's just all open. Like obviously
you
somebody
wouldn't
gave
believe
this. To me.
this. Somebody told me to just grab as much as I could. He's like, yeah, put your hands behind your back. But
Felony.
yeah, exactly. I was like, the only time I've ever even seen this much weed, I grabbed as much as it as could, so. But
Have
They're gonna take
every
it
time
home
you
and
wash
smoke
your
it
clothes, you find weed particles in your washer.
yeah.
Stuff it in your pockets.
please don't search the band vehicle because I don't smoke, but I find it all the time. But I mean, I keep my shit a little messy, so you never know what you'll find in there. I mean, panties, bras, and freaking drugs.
Yeah.
So,
I'll tell you what, scariest I ever been, man. Like I said, I quit doing drugs so I can fucking talk about this. I got in my truck one day, I was detailing it, and there was a bag of coke. You know them Dodges, they had that pocket like, up above the door handle
Yeah.
on both sides, like where you put I put change in them, but I'm sure it's not what it's for. Anyways, dude, there was a bag of fucking blow in there, and I don't know when the last time a person rode my passenger seat was. That thing had just been like chilling there for like ages, man. So I took it and I did it though. But
I know one thing, cops
dude,
hate
I
is
just
them
remember how
little
scared I
baggies.
was. I was just like, oh my god, like who is the last person that would even have that period in my passenger seat, much less anybody in general. Like damn, we didn't take my truck nowhere. Like it was a piece of shit. We were scared we were going to break down everywhere we went. We always took somebody else's vehicle. So I'm telling you, but it had to have been there for like weeks, dude. What if my dad would have found it? Holy shit. Jesus Christ, man. If he would have found it. My dad thinks weed is like literally heroin. So imagine he found a bag of blow in my passenger side of I was living at his house at the time. Right, imagine if he'd have found that something. Oh my God.
Me and my buddy, he's on probation for like next 20 fucking years because he's an idiot. But we was cleaning his brand new ride the other day, trying to get it ready to go to a show, and he found a big old bag of meth in there. He's like, "What the hell?" He's like, think about it. Like this guy, he's on probation. And he's completely straight, trying to stay out of trouble, and then this stuff, he just happened to buy a brand new ride and been cleaning it out and find this big old. I mean, it would have sent him to jail for 10 years or however long. And I was like, God, dog,
25. He's on probation 25. He
well, it ain't 25. Hell, but I think it's like next 10 years though.
Yeah.
I mean, like really 10.
Whatever it was, he went to jail for that long.
Yeah, and there ain't nothing. I mean, what can you say? I mean, poor guy. But we found it.
It's almost like I can feel shit like that. Like I can feel what it would feel like. I can like
Somebody
put
would've
myself
met
in that position. Like I got like my heart started beating there for a minute when he was talking about it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
want to just go clean your truck out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go get it detailed. Like, actually get somebody else to clean it out. Maybe,
when how many times
they'll
I've
wanna
had
keep
my
that.
truck detailed and like them guys find weed in it and just fucking smoke it instead of giving it back, bastards.
I find weed in there so much in my truck. It's like it's not even a big thing no more. I was like, I keep it over the side. I was like, well, fuck.
I've been caught with weed several times. I ain't never had a pot charge. They always just stomp it out. Like they always dump. The bitch in Arkansas side fucking took it. I don't know what she done with it, but I didn't get no ticket for it.
One
Trying
time,
to say she smoked it, but pretty sure she did, bitch.
Watch Us Only's one time was on a way to a show, and we get pulled over, and one of the guys in the band just fired up, joined whatever, and so we're trying to like light up cigarettes and roll the windows down. Well, it still
Light a
reeks.
cigarette so he don't smell
Yeah,
weed.
yeah, that guy. No, it just reeks of it. And I'm in the back seat because I didn't have a license at the time. And the guy who was driving, he had a little bit of weed in his cigarette pack or whatever. But the cop's like, just tell me where it is, and I won't mess with you. And he's like 18. I say, this is my little brother. All right, the bass player in the band. Anyways, to make the story actually work. We're on the way to show the drummer, bass player, and me. And so he takes my little brother to jail for possession, and then runs my drummer's ID, and he's got like a warrant for like a seatbelt ticket or some shit. Takes him to jail, so I'm like, well, I guess I got to cancel the show. Like, one of the only shows we've only canceled 2 shows now as the White Church Wannabees.
It's like 10 years stint of not canceling any
shows.
shows.
I'm really proud of this.
That's fucking great.
I'm proud of this. But took the drummer and the bass player to jail, and then I'm in the back seat because I can't drive because I got to suspend a license. But he says, well, you're good to go. Like, after he dumps everything out of my truck, scratches all my CDs and shit up, breaks everything, I throw it all back in there. And I was like, I ain't going to bitch about nothing because I ain't got no ID. And he just didn't give a shit about messing with me because I didn't have no warrants and I didn't have no drugs on me. And so I go to leave. So Dodson and the drummer go to jail. And what was funny is the first time Dodson ever went to jail, he was like 18.
He was freaking out.
Yeah, he was just like, I even told the cop, I was like,
remember my first time was terrible.
I was like, man, you got to let him go. Like, it's like 2 joints. Are you fucking serious? And he's like, man, he lied to me. I was like, well, what are you expecting? He's 18, 19 years old. I wouldn't have told you the truth neither. He's like, oh, yeah, he lied to me. I'm taking him to jail. So I was like, all right. Then he takes my drummer to jail. I was like, okay, well, we got to cancel the show now. So we cancel the show. So I go back to this party.
Did you explain to the venue what went down?
Yeah, I did. What was really funny is that the band that they got to cover for us was called Out on Bail. How ironic is that shit? The band that...
You know they used that all night, too.
Oh,
the other
God.
guys all went to jail, so we were out on bail.
Yeah, dude, what was funny is, like, so I go back, because I'm right down the road from my buddy's house. He's throwing a big old party and shit. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I ain't playing. I guess I'm going to get drunk somewhere. And because I can't get him out till morning time or whatever. So I'm getting hammered or whatever, and all of a sudden I walk outside, like, take a piss or whatever, and I got a beer in my hand, and the cop pulls up, and I'm like, oh shit, like trying to hide beer. I was like, he lets Dustin out, and I was like, what the fuck happened? He said, well, the notary person or whatever the hell was supposed to be in there, one of them people wasn't there, so I was gonna have to stay in there like 2 days or something like that. And I done told him that he ain't never been to jail. So he said, you know what, we're gonna drop this down to like paraphernalia charge. get the fuck out. And the drummer's in there like, at least we're here together, bro. At least we're here together. He's like, all right, get out. He's like, oh, see you later, bro. I'm gone. And fucking comes and drops him off of me.
Was the drummer the Jeremy, the dude with the glasses? Yeah, dude, he was all right. I liked him.
He's a great guy. I still love that guy. He's still playing music. So he played with Miranda Lambert. Hell,
he did?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
For a long time, right before she got famous, Miranda, shit.
I feel like her song Kerosene was basically Steve Earle's song, what's it called?
Before or after the Stingray?
Huh?
The Stingray.
Steve Earle?
Oh, I thought you said Steve Irwin.
No, Steve Earle. The song by Steve Earle. What's it called, man?
Copperhead Road?
No, the reason I gotta wonder, and 1 second, I'll find it.
Well, hell, I think a couple of her songs she got from that one girl who lives in Lindale area, which is pretty cool. Like, way to go her, still keeping it around.
Feel Alright. Kerosene sounds very similar to Feel Alright.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like, I think Cody Jinks' song is exactly like this other song Mark was telling me about, and I was like, I listened to it, I was like, you're right. It's just different words, But that Cast No Stone song, but it's still a great song.
That's the song it was?
No, Cast No Stone is exactly like this other song. You had to ask Mark Hill. I mean, you'll get him on a podcast too. He'll tell you.
Is Mark the dude? Who's Mark?
Mark's the one that's playing with Dodson tonight.
I will have to give him a name. Who's that dude from tonight that was over there? I can't remember his name.
Michael DeArmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He seemed like he was cool as shit, man.
Yeah, he used to do the Architects Rocks thing, trying to help out the Architects thing, and it was pretty cool. He come and shot a video of us and did all that back when we was just getting started with the White Trash Wannabees, and did a few things in the Linden Theater, and did something like this, but it was video related,
I was telling him earlier, I used to do Spotlight up there at Music City Theater in Linden, and I was 16 years old, I still hadn't got the grasp of the Eagles yet, how big they actually were.
Yeah.
So I'd have Don Henley and Richard fucking Bowden chilling with me up in the Spotlight thing, just chilling with me and talking, and I'm trying to do a Spotlight, being annoyed by these two guys, and I had no clue both of them were big deals. Richard Bowden was was one of the first people to really do real good comedy songs.
Yeah, and he played with Linda Ronstadt for forever, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and he was in Don Henley's first band, Shiloh.
Yeah, Shiloh, which is a good band as well. That's like when Richard and Don's real good friend Pat Robertson.
Yeah, I know Pat.
He introduced me to Jackson Brown, and I was the same way. When I was 15 years old, I thought I was the baddest son of a bitch around, So all of a sudden, Pat's
you kind of were still on the guitar.
Well, around maybe in the high school, I was kind of okay, but he introduced me to Jackson, and Jackson comes over and bullshits with me, and I didn't know who the hell Jackson was. Matter of fact, I was like, this ain't Jackson Brown. I figured Jackson Brown, a name like that, it wouldn't look like he does, and. Because he was white,
Yeah. I was about to say, okay.
You told me not to be.
Why did everything keep going to race with you, man? Time tonight.
I'm not racist at all, but I just Jackson Brown must be a black dude, right? And I didn't know Running on Empty or Doctor My Eyes, and thank God I didn't. Looking back at it, because if I'd have known that he was also dating Daryl Hannah probably at the time. I was like, Daryl Hannah's finer and shit. I've been talking to him about, you're dating one of the biggest movie stars in the world right now.
What is that puss like?
Yeah. But instead I was like, oh, you're Jackson Brown? I'm Donnie Dodson. I was in a complete, little shit about it, But, I think he enjoyed. I wasn't really,
He probably enjoys that, though, somebody that doesn't grasp that,
don't
because you got to get tired of it.
Yeah, don't treat him like gold or whatever. I was just like, yeah, I play music. And he's like, and matter of fact, we didn't even talk about music after that. We just talked for, a couple minutes or whatever about just random things. And he probably didn't want to talk about music.
I bet he remembers that to this day, though. I bet if you told him, he's like, man, you remember that time you met that 16-year-old kid? And I'm sure he saw that you were good on a guitar if you played that.
I played in front of him.
So I'm sure he's probably just like, man, that little sick. I remember you playing Neil Corbett's Wedding with Jason Kennedy on the drums And you played fucking Freebird behind your head, and that was the first time I'd ever met any of y'all.
Yeah.
I didn't even meet y'all. Like, I was like 13, man. Neil's a lot older than me.
That's obvious. I wasn't old enough to drink at that point in time, so.
But y'all were on a flatbed trailer, a gooseneck trailer. You remember that out there at Elk?
Yeah, out that hunting place.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I remember that because that was whenever the band before the White Trash Wannabees. That was one of our very first shows, and we played out there and we had a great time. One of Neil's family members played the hell out of the harmonica. I can't remember his name. He was amazing.
I don't remember that much. I just remember that was like the first time I'd ever like saw you play, and like Cody was like, my brother was like telling me, he's like, dude, he can play the guitar behind his head, and I was like, fuck off, dude. I didn't say fuck off. I was like 13. I was like, whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 18, maybe. I mean, I wasn't near.
Yeah, if I was 13, you'd have been exactly 18. You're 5 years older.
I mean, I just graduated high school around that point in time. What was funny is we was playing out there that hunting lease thing. They were just like deer. They would just come hang out, and hogs.
I want to hear the music,
yeah,
man.
like they just come up, chill beside you. I was like, man, this must be real fun to hunt out here. You just like walk up and like just.
I heard the start of Sweet Home Alabama. It was like, we got to go see this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they probably just know they ain't. The only time they're gonna get shot is when it's like completely
whenever
quiet.
It's not like that.
Yeah, it's going quiet as hell. Like
we better check these humans out while we can.
They're over there like jumping on the damn picnic tables with all the cake and shit, like eating it all and shit. I was like, what the hell's going on, man?
That's a nice place out there.
It is really nice.
What was jumping up there?
Deer, man.
Yeah, deer.
They had a half inch. You know, you go down the interstate, and that down I-30, out of Texarkana, you go to New Boston and go past New Boston. And there's that high fence on the right. It's got all that wood and everything, like wood sculptures and shit.
Yeah.
That place. My cousin married those people's daughter.
He's still with him, right? Or is he not?
Man, I ain't. Every time I see Neil, we just get stoned as shit. We don't talk about stuff like that. We got other shit going on.
He started a crawfish stand or something over there in Linden. That's the last time I talked to him. He wanted me to come play over there on the side of 59. He's like, just come set up right beside my little crawfish stand or something. I was like, okay, let's do it, man. I don't give a shit. Yeah. No, that shit was funny as hell. Neil crazy as shit. What I remember back in the day.
Son. Back in the day, some it still is.
I forget if you're kin to him, you kin to Levi. Like you was talking about all them people rapping. Levi used to come rap with us all the time.
I don't know Levi though.
You don't?
Hey,
that's surprising. He's pretty close to your age.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know of him, but I don't know him.
Yeah. Well, he was obviously big time friends with Dodson and stuff. You're a little younger than Dodson, though. Right?
No, me and Dustin graduated together.
Well, then fuck. I figured we didn't know Levi.
Levi, I think, was younger than us. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I hung out with Dustin because we had like classes together. But if I had to, I ain't gonna lie, back in high school, if I had to judge Dustin by the people he hung out with, I probably wouldn't ever hung out with him.
Yeah, well, Dustin. I mean, well, Dustin is kind of goofy son of a gun. He's lucky he graduated in the first place.
Well, no, it wasn't even that, man. It's just lucky that you took him in on the band and shit, because he was telling what direction he could have went with them people, because not one of them motherfuckers turned out to be anything.
No, you're right about that. But I mean, as soon as he graduated high school, that's what I told him. I was like, hey, you want to, play some music? And he's like, yeah, let's see if we can't make some music together, whatever. And we played that one of his first shows. We opened up for Randy Rogers. And there was like thousands.
Yeah, he said he had no clue how to play a bass at all.
He didn't at all. But we walked in there and Dustin, like, we pulled up and there's a big tour bus and thousands of people just waiting to get inside. And Dustin's like, I don't remember how to play nothing. I was like, calm down. We pretty much play 3-chord songs, bro. Like, just chill out. And after we get done, we're all signing autographs and doing our thing. And Dustin's like, it's pretty fun. Let's get serious about it. And he had just graduated high school, and so we started working really, really hard after that, and got to rolling. Here we are.
I can't remember the first show I ever seen the White Trash Wannabees actually play. I think I've seen too many of y'all shows.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, and back in the day, we'd play some little goofy shows like house parties and stuff. That you probably was at some of the Hugh Springs house parties or something.
Yeah,
like that,
all
probably.
those. That's where I hung out at. I was the only Linden person that was allowed out there because I didn't play sports or nothing. So they'd be like, fuck Linden, their fucking football team's trash. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah. Well, I didn't care.
No shit, we ain't had anything go on with our high school football team in years.
Yeah.
Like, obviously we suck. I don't feel like you even need to iterate that.
Nah, I mean, they didn't really mess with me about that. As soon as I...
If you're Donnie Dodson with White Trash Wannabe, it's different.
No, I mean, and
I was just a random ass white kid that was like, hey,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna hang out with you people.
When I met Aubrey at we opened up for Aaron Watson or somebody like that, and I met Aubrey. It was either Aaron Watson or Randy Rogers. And after I did that, all of a sudden, that was like we didn't even have a name yet. We wasn't even White Trash Wannabees really yet. I say that was our we wasn't really nothing. I think they called us the Donnie Dodson band then or something. And we played, and me and Aubrey got to be good buddies. So all of a sudden, my following like quadrupled in size just knowing somebody like Aubrey, just spreading the word because he was so like knew so many people. And
he knows so many people because everybody's scared of him. Everybody wants to get to know him. At some point in time, somebody was like, "Dude, you see that big bastard over here? He'll fuck you up."
Yeah.
Like you need to make friends with him. So then everybody's like, "Hey, I'm such a." I'm telling you, man, that's one of the first people I met in Hugh Springs when I was like 16 years old. I seen that big bad. Somebody was like, "Dude, that's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. He is mean." And he was like, "You need to make friends with him." And there was a race war that went on between Hugh Springs white boys and Jefferson black guys in Kellyville, Lane Till's cabin. On graduation night, like Jared's dumbass decided he wanted to have Jefferson's graduation there. And Lane Till was like, "Well, I want to have Hugh Springs graduation. We all get along?" Yeah. No. And because, you know, the ratio wasn't there.
Yeah.
And they brawled, man. That's the only time I've ever just like been around a fight that I went and got in my truck. Like I was the only person from Linden there to start with, and I'm like 125 pounds. I'm like 16 years old. I just go get my truck. I never forget Quentin Daniels did a headbutt off the bed of my truck and knocked him and another guy out. And they just both laid there. They got up, made friends, and the fight was over. But I just remember Aubrey going, "Hold my teeth." As soon as it started, I was like, "I'm going to get my truck." Yeah. Snagged his teeth and put them in my pocket. And
but hell, Aubrey, he still talks about that fight. But, you know, not too long after that, he threw a big party out there at the same place. And, man, we had a good time. Like, but what was funny is, somehow or another, like, we cut off some trucker right across the road from Lane's place or whatever. And so, like, this trucker's, like, flashing his lights and all this shit. So Aubrey's crazy. He pulls over. And he's like, "Let's do this." And that trucker gets out with, like, some kind of weapons or something. I don't know. And I was like, "Aubrey, get in the fucking car. We're going to a party. We ain't fixing to get fucked up beforehand." And we get back in there. I was like, "Thank God, man. This trucker's going to kill you, man. Like, fuck, he had a gun or something." And but we go over there and
he didn't give a shit at all until you said something. Like, it never crossed his mind.
He would have went over there and just died. You know, no big deal. But I still see Lane.
He would have. You don't know, man. You don't know the old Aubrey. You're not old enough to.
I still see Lane to this day, and he said that was one of the craziest parties I've ever seen. He said we still find panties out in that pasture and stuff, or out all around the place. He said it was just the craziest party ever. He said my dad or somebody go out there cleaning up the place and just condoms and panties just everywhere still. And that was like, fuck, that was 10 years ago now. I mean, because, hell, right when I first met Aubrey. So right when the White Trash Wannabees first got started.
So that would have been my side. No, me and Dustin just had our senior 10-year reunion Friday. Yeah. I didn't make it. I was out of town. I didn't get in until yesterday. But, so that would have been right around that time. Mm-hmm. So that means me and Dustin would have been like right at seniors or right after seniors.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And man, dude, I remember Lane Till's dad had just bought a brand new New Holland tractor, 4-wheel drive. Something was slick. Back then, New Holland was newer, so like they cost a lot. They cost a pretty penny. And Jared Sharp gets in the bucket, and we going to the baseball fields from the cabin because we had to go meet some girls at the baseball field to guide them back to the cabin. Jared, they lift the bucket all the way up. Jared's in the bucket with a captain hat on. I don't know where he got a captain hat. I'll never forget this. I'm sitting on a fender. We got two people riding on the hood, and like somebody else on the other fender. We get this son up on like two wheels going down this black top. It's a big ass tractor, man. It's completely reckless. Like nowadays, like if I even accidentally get this son up on two wheels, like we got problems, dog. You know. But we finally make it up there. And I remember we got off that tractor and the whole fucking hood, the top of that hood was just caved the fuck in. And it was, this tractor had like 10 hours on it. And I was like, "Dude, your dad's going to kill us." He was like, "You just buy a new one, man." And I was like,
I wonder what his dad actually said.
"Nothing, man." That dude's dad never questioned anything. He would take his dad's credit card and he would buy about 8 or 9, sometimes 10, literally 10 30 packs. And would just throw a party for all his friends. He paid for all the beer. You had to bring shit.
Hell,
Show up.
They still kind of like that. Like him and they like own some shit down
Jimmy
around.
John's.
Yeah, down around Nacogdoches or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's all the time telling me like, come down here and play, bro, because we'll fucking do whatever we gotta do, because they just want to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, they're just cool son of bitches, man. You talking about like denting shit in? Hell, I showed up one time in my old truck or whatever, and my dad sees it. He's like, how these dents get in this hood? I was like, shit, I don't know, Dad. He's like, it looks like ass prints. You've been fucking somebody on this hood, hadn't you? I was like, okay, Dad, I've been fucking on somebody on
It's
this.
probably the
you know?
best. Even if it wasn't true, it's probably the best thing you could have said. Like, how can you be mad?
No, I mean,
I'd be like, dude, don't do this again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my dad, he wouldn't give a shit. Hell, if I was fucking or something like that, I could have done killed somebody. Did you get laid? Yeah, Dad, I got. Okay, we're good. We'll get a lawyer or some shit.
My dad was cool with me drinking and going to parties and had no curfew, but like, just fuck, man. Like, I bought the fucking truck. Hey, and if I put a ding in it or something, oh my god, the fucking roof would come down.
Oh no, my dad, every truck he ever got me, he never said it was mine. It was always his. So but he let me drive it. So one time I come in, I done wiped out one whole side of it.
Oh jeez.
Like getting drunk,
ripped my head off.
So I just parked it
Literally.
way down on the right of where our house was, like where the woods beside it, so he couldn't see it. Then all of a
That's
sudden,
that dumb 16-year-old thinking.
yeah, you know, I was like, well, we'll wait till like it's been a few weeks, and then maybe he'll like kind of deal with it or whatever. Then all of a sudden, the next time I folded the door back somehow, like checking the mail or something stupid, and just there wasn't no hiding that. So one side was fucked up, and the other side I had to take that door off. We had a backup truck, parts truck that we had, and I had so it was a blue truck with a white door. I was like, all right, Dad, I folded that door in, and he's like, okay, well that's all. I was like, and I smashed the whole other side, but he only gave like $500 to this truck. He sold it for like $600 right after that. And he still gives me shit to this day about fucking that truck up. I was like, you made money off this truck, Dad, and I drove it for like 2
You
years.
count the parts truck and you taking the door off of it, man. It's probably about broke even.
He probably did about
Now,
break
let's
even.
get down to the numbers real
But I
quick,
mean,
Donnie.
break even.
I'm not saying I'm on your dad's side, but I kind of am at this point.
You're probably right. But breaking even is better than most people come out with. I mean, hell, at least he
I
didn't.
just tried to trade my truck in. They're giving me $9,500 for it, and I was 13. I was like, y'all go get fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a new
in there
truck.
and take it out.
No, I didn't take it out. I didn't. That was sight unseen. I wasn't gonna show. I wasn't gonna take that dirty motherfucker out there. I was gonna get a detail if I took it anywhere. And then get this, my swamper, Matt Smith, for the podcast listeners, they know about Matt.
You gotta take them
He's-
Crustables out.
Dude, he better not touch my fucking Uncrustables. No, he tore 2 of my mud flaps off in one day. Right, Chuck's got them cool little plastic mud flaps. Tore 2 of them off in one day, and then like a week before that, drops a full oxygen cylinder onto my tailgate so hard it also broke my tail light. You know, like put a big ass dent in my and he's like, well, I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean to. I know you didn't mean to. You know, but Jesus Christ, be more careful, Donnie.
Yeah, well, no, I should have been more careful, but tell you the truth, whenever I fold that door
If
in,
those words come out of Matt's mouth, I swear to God, I'd faint.
be more careful. And my
What's his
dad,
number?
he probably away. He got a kid and shit now.
what? It's only one. Hey, we're doing all the good. Hell, no.
Yeah, we got an hour, and we're only at 1. We can go fucking as long as y'all want.
Nah, hey, we're going to hang out for sure.
How long is this going on for?
As long,
So far.
as long as we want. An hour.
Oh, no shit.
Till Shauna gets here. Is she coming?
Yeah, somewhere. She got a beer by now.
No, that.
Which one was she for real?
You know, she's the one with the white trash hat on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She seemed pretty chill.
She's cool, man. Dude,
Yeah,
she's down for anything. She's fun.
Yeah.
Hell, she come with me one time to a party in Longview.
Be like, anything? I mean, we get this party started.
I mean,
Man, I know I drove. Go ahead, tell your
No.
story.
Yeah,
I'll tell
you know
mine.
what? Maybe we shouldn't go there. We don't want to tell
No,
the shit about
I mean, this story's legal, so.
no, mine is too. I took her to some tattoo shop that had a record shop in the back of it, and we hung out till the daylight, and she was just down. You know, she's a cool chick, man. She's
I
fun.
meant sexual.
I mean, no, I know what you meant. What the fuck am I gonna say?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I ain't. Okay.
I know one night.
You know what? That's
You
just
ain't
bad.
gonna
I've
say
been
nothing about
single for
sex,
so
is it?
long. I forget whenever my friends are married. Like, it don't even cross my mind.
Nah, hey, yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna let my friends get in trouble.
I'm
like,
not gonna
about the
say
time they
she's
go to
like the
fuck
biggest
Facebook,
slut ever. It's online. Like,
Yeah.
you know, she gonna seem like.
Anybody could hear.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, they'd be like, oh, Donnie said this. Donnie said you.
No,
were
I
the
can
biggest-
cut it
Yeah,
out.
record
okay.
this.
Oh, well, I mean, if you,
I'll definitely tell you. I'm not gonna put girls' names. I'm like, no, we're gonna be able to run a train with this bitch.
Well,
Like,
no,
that's
I mean,
not gonna be in the damn
well,
podcast.
Well, you can pause it sometime. We can talk about somebody every once in a
No,
while.
I don't have to pause. I just cut it. And it's not like a
No,
conversation.
I don't trust you to cut it, man. I mean,
You
I
don't
love you.
trust
We're
me?
best friends.
Dude, come on, man.
We're best
Casey.
friends.
We're best friends. There's been like twice I told you I was coming to a show and I didn't make it, and there was usually a good fucking reason why I didn't.
Yeah, no,
You know?
No, I know, and I missed your phone call last night. I'm fucking sorry, bro.
I forgot about that.
How did you
Oh,
forget
here
about it?
we
It's
go.
like 7:00 in the evening. Like you didn't even have time to get drunk yet. Like I got him.
No, I was trying to see what watch I was playing at.
No.
You weren't even
Hey,
in town yet, was you?
That would have been right after I got.
man,
I
I feel
thought
privileged, man. You really
you
like
get in
first
town at
fucking man.
I want to go to a white trash show. I ain't been
Nah,
home in a while.
nah. Hey man, you know I wish we would have been playing somewhere, or you could just come.
No,
from
you
out.
was just at the fair
Yeah.
and right up the street
We
from
coulda
me.
rode some
I literally
rides
passed
together.
by the fair at one
We
point.
could have rode some rides.
Together.
Act like together. I know. We could have held hands and everything.
Well, I mean,
God damn.
I'm not.
Well,
I'm not gay per se, but I mean,
I mean, no, I'm not gay.
sometimes
either.
that beard looks a little cute. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
talking outside my head now.
No, let's stop it now before it gets real gay.
I'm just joking about all that, by the way.
No, I mean,
Probably cut
Everybody
that part
else
out.
I
knows
mean,
what's
but we
going
would have
on.
held hands though, depending on which
but
ride
for
it was.
real though, man, you were at the fair. Didn't even call me, knowing that I live right up the road.
No, man, Casey been gone so goddamn long. Hey, I'm sorry.
You never.
man.
How do you even know you never called me? Okay, now we're getting a real personal matters here.
No, I know. Hey, but when you're around, you always holler at me too. So, but I do. I text you when we're
I
around.
just don't ever get it back. You know, like,
Ah,
this ain't a
oh,
one-way
Skinners.
street, Donnie. Love is something you give and you receive.
I know you
know?
can't.
I can't
it's
just
not
give,
a one-way
give,
street.
give, give,
It's not
give,
a one-way
man.
street. No, you know, I took you with me I took you with me some shady ass places, and then
After I called you the night before, it was
Yeah.
like, what are y'all doing? It's like, we're going to Whiskey Myers. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go to Whiskey Myers. I met y'all at Whiskey Myers. I called you. And then while we were there, if I hadn't called you, I'd never even known.
had to really. I thought I called you. I thought I told you because I didn't know I was going to the last minute when Pam.
I will go. I am
Miss
so
Pam.
confident that you did not call me.
I
I
don't
will
know.
call
Probably
Verizon
always
right
missed
now.
calls.
No, I'm
I
telling
will
you.
get a lawyer and get him to subpoena Verizon for like my last like 6 months bill.
I'm telling you what, Miss Pam says you buy my ticket. First thing I did, like, let's see if Casey wants to hang out and make some bad decisions.
He didn't say that.
In my head I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't,
But I
you didn't
called
follow
you.
Through.
I
No,
called
I
you.
called you.
Okay. All right.
You know what?
Get that lawyer. Get that lawyer.
Let's go halvesies, and whoever loses just pays the rest of it.
All right.
usually if I know if Casey's in town, it's usually on Sundays at Skinner's.
Yeah, I mean,
I walk in and I see somebody in a big hat. And I was like, oh
Side
shit,
touch
there's
man.
Casey.
Yeah, but Jefferson's something like my go-away place, man. Like it's
Nobody
somewhere
wears a
that-
big hat.
Huh?
no.
Well, nobody wears a big hat.
Casey walk in, you know it. That's what
Yeah.
I told him as soon as I seen him walk in. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
With that gray hat with the matching gray suede boots.
You start talking about your boots. I was like, I ain't trying to talk that much about your style. I mean,
No,
but it's
if
cool.
you don't mention it, you might as well go along.
Talk about your hat. That's
Nah.
how I recognize you, but I didn't even look down.
Nah, hey, no, dude got so much. If he'd have walked in like what you used to call it, Darth Crooks or whatever. If he'd have walked in like
Oh
that,
man, Darth Brooks is chill.
yeah, that.
I get memories. But Ricky's got a picture of me at Shooters. At Electric Cowboy. They tried to kick me out because I had my sunglasses on. I told them to fuck off their prescription. They just never asked another question. And then I passed out in the truck like an hour later on Facebook. Like really, like one picture posted like an hour later. I'm like curled up in the passenger seat, my Darth Crooks outfit, hat and everything still on. Done, man. And he put Darth Brooks just left the building or something. It's so funny.
Man, I used to love when Darth would come out, except for that time when you kicked me in the mouth and knocked fucking little.
You shouldn't
chips
have your
in my
mic
teeth.
stand so close to the edge
no,
of the stage.
you shouldn't kick the mic stand and knock some teeth out.
I
man.
was twerking on a bitch.
Yeah, that was really awesome though. And I think you felt real bad, and I was like, no, it was worth it for what you was
I
doing.
did feel bad. I
Yeah.
never forget you. It was like, no, man. it was worth it. And I was like, that makes me feel a little better about it. I had my leg. You know, put a chair up next to the stage, and like I had my legs up on top of this girl's shoulders, and I had like my pants undone. I had a bitch with no panties on and a skirt, a bad one too. We ain't gonna say whose baby mama it was.
Yeah, no,
because he might get defensive. I'm not even sure if he listens to the podcast or not, but I'm sure one day he'll go back and listen. He'll never hold a grudge forever.
Oh man.
And but anyway, she's dancing over top of me with no panties on. She's fine as shit.
Yeah.
And somehow my foot caught Donnie's mic stand and it fucking hit his tooth.
Yeah, it Timothy.
It was good times, man. We used to get wild. That was Andrew Beaver's days, man.
Hey, he was there the last time I was at Skinner's. He was there. Him and he ain't your kinfolk, is he?
No,
but
not
he
Caleb.
just he was there too, and I let him get up there and play.
Did he play the Doors?
No. I told you that one time. I told him.
No, he did, man. That's why I yelled that. I yelled that at some point in time. I don't think you heard it. Play some Doors. It's just so funny just because what we went through back in the day, man.
God, I told him that one time. He walked in with that girl, and I was like, hey, if you don't do the Doors, you'll probably get laid. And then he's like, just because I said that, if I wouldn't have said that, he might not have did some Doors, and he would have probably got laid.
He would have done the Doors.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh, my God. This girl, they was making out, and he was fixing to get laid, and all of a sudden, he did the Doors like I told him not to do. And I was like, I'm trying to help you out, bro.
Killed all the pussy in the
no, like, everybody just left. The girl that was making out with him a few seconds ago was like, I didn't realize he was a dumbass. I'm gone, But I still love you, Andrew. You good
He was
people.
going through some shit back then, though, man. He really was.
Yeah,
It wasn't no excuse, man. That motherfucker broke my bone. Like a $400 bone busted up. I'm serious, man. Busted over the arm of the chair. After he wrecked his truck. He totaled his truck out in between Skinner's.
Yeah.
And we lived about halfway between Skinner's and 59 if you was to go the back way through the back roads. There's at one point there's a curve and there's people's yard and a house. He ramped them people's yard and hit the city park. You know how the city park has that brick wall that comes up and the ground starts. He hit that so hard with his little Colorado that it like busted all the bricks off of it. And he leaves his whole bumper and drives back on 3 flats on rim all the way back to the house. And the cop pulls up, and this motherfucker goes duck hunting with his homies. So I wake up, I don't even know what's going on. I wake up to a cop beating on the door going, man, is that your black truck out there? I'm like, no, man, it's my roommate's going to see if he's here. And I go in there, he ain't there. I'm like, what's going on, man? He said, you need to come out here and take a look at this. This truck is smashed, dude. And I'm like, well, how'd you find this, man? He was like, well, for one, Andrew Beaver's license plate, he left it. And I was like, well, how'd you find it here, though? Because, like, we're not sitting on a license or nothing. Like, we're staying in some, like, bitch's apartment above a garage. They had a 2-bedroom apartment up there. And he was like, there's tracks going all the way from the city park to here where them rims are 8 into the fucking pavement. And I was like, oh, my gosh. So, if somehow Andrew knows some big lawyer there in town. Like, I don't know how he knows him. I didn't even ask no questions. But somehow that dude got him out of it. As long as I say we because I ended up having to go through it. He helped. But we had to go put all the bricks back and then fix those people's yard. We took out like 2 of their trees they had planted. And we had to cover up the tracks, like the ditches from where it's like tires started breaking loose right before it had liftoff. Literal liftoff. Like you see with like tracks like at the top of the hill, the tracks stop all of a sudden, and then they start like 5 feet in front of that again. I'm like, golly, man.
One thing happened. One of my buddies in high school did something like that. The cops show up, and they're all like passed out and stuff. The cops knock on the door, and the mom answers, and then she comes wakes him up. And he comes to the door. He's like, hey, was y'all doing some dumb shit last night? Like, anything crazy? He's like, no, sir, officer. He's like, nah, really? Like, was y'all doing some dumb shit? He's like, was y'all, like, running people's mailboxes over, like, in your Jeep? He's like, no.
The front of this Jeep is fucked.
Yeah, and, like, not only is the front of the Jeep fucked up, but the license plate got left on one of the fucking mailboxes. And so he's like, we know you did this, so we're going to have to get you to, like, we're not going to press no charges, nothing like that, but fix every one of these mailboxes y'all run over. They run over like 25 or 30 of these motherfuckers,
Did y'all hear about that woman that ran off the Burger King, like, the brick wall in Marshall?
No.
You know, all right. So it's like a 5-foot drop. Well, she tried to hit the drive-through. Well, her front tires made it over the brick wall. She stopped instantly. She was in a little car. Well, she never got her food or nothing, but she tried.
Let me see what road this is. I'll tell you what I did one time in Longview. Drunk as shit. You'll know the apartment as soon as I tell you.
It was funny because it was somebody's mom in Jefferson.
Hell, that one time we was riding home from Texarkana, my little brother, he was riding around with the drummer, and they was just passing back and forth some weed. And I'm over here, I don't smoke, and I didn't have no license at the time. And they kept on trying to pass it back and forth to each other, and they were so stoned, they wouldn't take it. And finally I was like, man, we're going like 30 on the interstate. I think he's good. Like, y'all put that shit out or something. Like, god damn, we're going to get pulled up going too slow. Like,
Well, you know the apartments, where they are the Summer Green apartments.
yeah.
Alright, so whenever I went to Laterno, like one of the few times I actually found some people to get drunk with, like we go there, we're playing beer pong, like, we get the cops calling us like 4 times, but the cops are just happy that Laterno people are drinking, I think. I don't know, they never really said nothing to us. And they just kept telling us to turn the music down. Like, ain't gonna come back 4 times until you turn the music down. Let's have some kind of sympathy at somewhere. Maybe it's because it was all dudes. I don't know. There wasn't no girls at college. Anyways, I get drunk. Like, I go to leave. You know, it's got that big and like it's like a between the highway and the apartments. You know, you gotta hit the damn driveway.
Yeah.
Or it's like a 10-foot freaking drop. I run my red Dodge off that sumbitch and made it. My front bumper hit so hard it knocked both my headlights out. like the whole the whole case of it. Not like in a '98 Dodge, like busted both out, and like my bumper was like KO'd up. Like, I mean, it was like pushed up. My back bumper was crushed up. Wasn't crushed, but like they were ranch hands, you know. So I just like jumped on them and put them back down and bought new headlights. It was all good. Come think of it, that truck had a wobble in it. It might have bent the frame. I don't know.
Hey, one of the first time me and Aubrey hung out, he had this one place right in front of his house. Where
I'm so glad I was by myself.
We used to jump this thing.
Y'all might be the first people I ever told about that.
Hey, me and Aubrey used to jump this fucking hill. All of a sudden, Aubrey's like, fuck it, we can jump it real fast. So we get to going like 70 mile an hour, going to like fucking do some hazard jumps this thing. And Aubrey's like, well, let's videotape it. So I'm over there. I can't even hold. He's like, videotape it with my phone and your phone.
Flip phone?
And I was like, yeah, flip phone. Yeah, of course, because this is 10
So I was
fucking
like you're
years
filming
ago.
it with a fucking potato.
So I was over here like trying to film it, can't hold on to the old shit handle, and we hit this fucking thing, and then it just smashes Aubrey's phone. All this shit, his phone's just gone. My phone's perfectly fine, thank God. But it just like fucks up one of his shocks, rips off one of his mirrors somehow. I don't even know how the fuck we jumped something and it rips off a mirror. But it was just like this truck was just done, like fucking done. It was fucking great. But that old truck, it was the first band I was in that I recorded with, a band called Loose. For some reason after that, like we had a CD of the Loose band that I was in. It would never come out again. So he had to listen to that motherfucker. Couldn't listen to no regular radio, no nothing. Something was fucked up. So he just had Loose the whole time.
Just reminding him every time he got in the truck, reminding him how dumb he was.
Every time. Hey.
I was always pretty chilling on vehicles. Like, I never really done a bunch of... that was a complete accident. Like, I never would have done that on purpose. You know, like, I never took my trucks mudding or anything like that. Like, I don't know. But I always had to pay for my own shit. And I was always just like, man, that gets expensive.
Man,
98 Dodges have enough problems, man. Them motors will last forever, but damn, them front ends will go out so fast.
Man, we was over there partying at Sheila's in Longview here a while back, and there was this chick. She would dance. She danced crazy as hell. And just like, I mean, she didn't care if she was by herself. There's 3 people. She danced like crazy. And hell, I go outside, and she just get hammered. And she drives a smart car. And in front of the Sheila's, there's like 2 driveways and a big ass ditch, like what you're talking about, straight down.
Oh,
and
man.
I seen her like driving that smart car. I walk outside and I just see her drive off, and this smart car just disappears. I mean, there ain't a whole lot to disappear, but I was like, oh, she's stuck, man. All of a sudden I see a boy coming right right out the other side. His wedding shit. I was like, damn, these cars are badass.
No, man, get this, dude. So some dealership in Texarkana bought just like a shit ton of them. Like, I mean, outright bought them all. Like, didn't like buy 10 of them and sell them.
The one that where they lifted them?
Dude, they were putting some fuller rim will fit onto that bolt pattern, and they were putting like
There's a Honda.
they were putting like, you know, like small mud lights on it. They were driving around farms. You get them things like brand new for like $6,700. You know, like it was cheap as fuck. And the farmers was using them to like feed all their cows and shit. They just throw all the feed on the roof. So I'm telling you, man, there's all kinds of videos from Texarkana. Them running through mud holes and cars. Apparently, I don't know if they're all still around or not, but they were lasting pretty good there for a while. Taking some hell, man.
They're just like them little trucks.
You
Little
trying to
Mitsubishi trucks or
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
What are they called? Samurais, maybe?
No, the Samurai, you cannot get a Samurai stuck.
What are them ones that look like a little bitty Astro van? Like a little old bitty one.
Oh, yeah. The ones that go with the weird slant ass thing on the back. You know, hell, to tell you the truth, I got stuck in them, like the smallest little Dodge Dakota that they used to have back in the day. It was 4-wheel-drive. That's so much yank out of 18 with out of the ditch.
Dude, what was her name that had that S10, the 4-wheel-drive S10 way back in the day? Basham. Here's her last name. She had that green S10, and it had buckshots all the way around it. Fuck, man. I just remember my brother used to always go by the truck and like, man, that's a badass little truck.
I had a white one with buckshot.
This was back when S10s was cool, though. Like S10 was almost like top of the line little truck you could get.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that old of a truck. And this thing was going to have like 35 by like 12 inch. I mean, they probably wasn't 12 inch wide. They probably exaggerated little kids, you know, in my mind.
Sound like you come out of Linden, for sure.
Alright.
Yeah.
As much fucked up shit as I've seen in Jefferson, you can't talk shit about Linden.
Oh, no.
We got some rappers and stuff, but Jefferson's got a lot of fucked up shit that went on there. Like half y'all's town had herpes by the time we got out of high school, so fuck off.
Well, at that time, I was living in Avenger, so.
At that point, you can't even compare then. There wasn't enough people.
No, you can't compare.
Did you go to Avenger school?
Yeah.
What was that like, graduating with like 2 3/4 people?
Graduated with 6 people.
He graduated. He was in the top 10 though. We're proud of him.
I was number 2.
Damn.
I bet
The lower end, I was number 2.
Number 2.
Hopefully now that like humans have evolved in the past couple years, I guess you could say. I wonder like in like the 70s and 80s, like how much inbreeding went on in Avenger.
Oh,
There's
God.
a lot of throwed off motherfuckers in Avenger, man. I feel like, man, I mean, you ain't got but 5 people to choose from, and I bet 2 of them was girls. They was probably your cousins
2 of them
somewhere.
was girls.
How'd I guess that? Huh? See, I'm telling you. You know damn well they was kin to you. Because who the fuck's gonna...
I mean...
Ain't nobody just gonna move 2 girls into Avenger. You know, they was already there.
Well, I wasn't related with anybody. I was from Illinois, but
Well, you lucked
I was good.
So what about
covered.
what about the girl you didn't get? Like she had to get with her
I
cousin.
was probably related.
Yeah, that one girl had to get with her cousin. Luckily, you showed up to like disrupt the gene pool a little bit. You could have helped Avenger out so much if you just got her pregnant, man.
Yeah.
But instead, you were selfish and you hadn't used condoms.
Hey, your teeth are pretty straight, bro. Yeah, you don't screw that up, man. Hey, thank you.
It was pretty well.
I think the only bad part of Illinois really is Chicago, huh?
I don't know. Chicago's a different story. I know they bought out Whataburger. So, did you hear about that?
Okay, time out. Before we even get into this stupid fucking debate. Holy shit. It's an investment. It is an investment firm. They're not going to run Whataburger to the ground.
No, I don't like it.
We're still going to get cold double cheeseburgers and we order it there. And we're still going to eat them motherfuckers every time. They think we
I'm still going to end up there at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but whatever.
The only thing is, if you were a family, okay, and you owned every Whataburger. I mean, yeah, like technically a family will own the individual one, but you get a bunch of the profit. And somebody comes and was like, dude, we'll give you an insane amount of money if you have this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't blame the people
Texas
selling
is
out.
still going to run it.
Well, no, it's just not going to change. It's like, you know, it's going to go
Nothing's gonna
everywhere.
change. Somebody else is gonna own it.
It's an investment firm. They're not dumb enough to change up their product. You know, they're not going to start buying soy meat or no bullshit like that. That'd be dumb. You know, like they're not. They're going to keep using the same food suppliers and all that. And I mean, shit. All they want to do is just expand. The other pretty much being owned by a family, it can only get so big before it's too much for you to handle. Before it has to turn into like a real corporation. You know, and that's pretty much what it got to, and the investment firm bought it, and now it's gonna be even bigger now.
Well,
like shit, you can go to Illinois and get you some fucking Whataburger. Be happy, bitch.
Well, I mean, they ain't,
you go visit your family and get some Whataburger.
Well, they ain't been built any stores yet, but from what I've seen, hopefully, fucking the rest of Illinois, like, does away with Chicago. It does a line just like Trump wants to do with a wall.
Kind of like El Paso in Texas.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Right. I'm serious, man. Like, if we built a wall around El Paso, it's like, you know what, we're just going to give that to Mexico. Mexico built a wall on the other side going, no, fuck that. Like, this would be this whole little country.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things.
El Paso is shit.
There's a lot of different things, though. Because, the drugs-wise. There's a lot of different things you could do with or without
the bad thing is the closer you get to the border, the worse the drugs are. If I've stayed in Van Horn for 6 months, Van Horn is right there.
I used to live in Balmaray.
Do you understand how hard it was for me to buy weed? I asked every bartender in town. None of them could get it. None of them even smoked weed because they thought you can't get it here. We're too close to the border.
Yeah.
Like all them weed trucks, they keep on trucking, dog. They going to Dallas or Houston. This is some bullshit.
Well, being so close, there's some cons, there's some pros to it, but it depends on like East Texas, West Texas, whatever.
In Texas, East Texas, or maybe the Panhandle, it's about the best weed you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Or best any other kind of drug.
Yeah, but if you start going west, I mean, you're gonna need like Mexico, depending on what. But unless you start throwing stuff over the wall.
Through doing sketchy shit, okay, I found out that Mexicans actually like meth more than what they like cocaine.
Yeah.
So they call it ice. So and they snort it, and I've never done it with them. I just know that they do that. Like I've witnessed it, and my drug dealer told me, Chino, shout out.
Is it current or no?
No, he's not current anymore, man. He went to work in the oil field finally and got him a real job. But he never went down either. I don't know how. He sold to everybody. But anyways, he even told me, he was like, everything you get is going to be like cut with a whole lot of meth because that's what Mexicans do.
Well, anything in West Texas.
And they were like, the closer you get to the border, the less they want to get caught. So the other side, like they get a little bit of this drug and then they take a white people drug, which is meth, and they'll chop it in. There's not much cocaine around the borders that you can just buy unless you're buying like a fucking kilo or something.
Most of it's cut, unless it's like just.
Well, yeah, if you're buying a fucking kilo, I'm sure it's gonna be pretty fucking good. It ain't had time to be cut. But if you're buying like a gram that's already crushed, probably be mostly dope.
Might be yellow, it might be blue, whatever.
Well, you want it to be a little bit yellow.
Yeah, you want it to be, but Pecos is a different story.
Pecos, you get shit anything you buy. You want this popcorn? Okay, so y'all popcorn is out of Reggie. Just give me like the best kush you can get. And you get like a kind of sort of the good weed you can get around here. And just deal with it. You smoke enough of it, eventually you lose the tolerance for the really, really good weed. And you just learn to get stoned off that.
What going on to the powder wise? There was this one guy that mentioned he was selling like 100 a G of fucking some powder. I was like, man, what?
No, man, Texarkana, that's a running rate.
Is it really?
Yes, it's stupid, man. I'm like,
well, Pecos is fucking stupid, but
well, it's an oil field town, man.
True.
Gas prices go up, so cocaine prices. I tell you what, judge your drugs off the gas prices. The gas prices are high, the drugs gonna be high. I don't do drugs anymore. I'm telling y'all this for y'all. If the gas prices are high, the drugs gonna be high.
Nah, you get 100 ball down there around Houston and stuff.
That's not close to the border though. Houston is not. That's close to the bay. It's different.
No, that's cheap.
Like I said, like by the border, where it's actually like where there's border patrol stations that are like right there, like 5 miles from the border. Which I know a couple of operators that would what they would do is, I don't know if I get in trouble with the cartel or whatever for even saying this. I hope they don't know me, but anyways, they would line the walls.
Podcast.
They would cut open their fuel tanks. You know,
Yeah.
you had to show up with a full tank of diesel. They wouldn't supply the diesel, but then they would cut your fuel tank, and they would thinly layer them fuel tanks. You know, with dope. And then that's how they get away with it. 'Cause they'll check the depth of it. Every fuel tank comes there, they check the depth. If that some bitch is off, you're probably going to prison for a long time.
Yeah, when we played down in Padre, we ran out of drugs. And so Dustin was like, what we do? I said, let's go to the karaoke bar. We're going to sing everything we can about drugs until somebody bites. And we did. And everybody offered us drugs but wouldn't sell no drugs. And so then all of a sudden we was just like back at the hotel room, some guy riding around with like a fanny pack on like a fucking 10-speed or something. You're like, hey, bro.
If you had said a fucking unicycle, I'd have died, dude. Holy shit.
That would have been
I don't know
classic.
why that was the first thing that came to my mind. You're just like riding around with a fanny pack. That's like fucking unicycle.
No, he was riding around like, Dustin said, hey, where the fire at? He says, I ain't gonna fire, but I got call all kind of other stuff. It's like, get in our hotel room. And,
Get in here, grab you.
Yeah.
We're not robbing you, but
We did the best
we're
drugs.
not going to let you leave.
Oh, he had the best drugs I've ever done. They were amazing. Changed my life. Don't even like other drugs anymore.
Shout out to Red Iguana in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
I never went to any bars. I'm sorry, man. I'm just not going to go to a bar and just stand around a bunch of fucking dudes. Especially a bunch of white trash fucking pipeliners and Mexicans can't. I ain't got nothing against Mexicans, but Mexicans can't speak no fuck. You got two.
No, something against
so
white
here,
trash.
Here are my options, okay? I can hang out with people that can't understand nothing I fucking say, and I can't understand nothing they say. No offense to them, it's just that ain't a good combination. Or I can hang out with these white trash motherfuckers that are literally doing everything they can to go to jail because they think it's fucking cool. Like, I'm gonna just stay by myself.
They're just trying to make it to work tomorrow.
No, they'll be like, they think it's funny for their boss to get a phone call going, hey, we gotta bail this motherfucker out of jail. Because the 10 to 1, the boss is white trash too and just enjoys the entertainment. He's gonna go bail him out just like do it again.
We're at Red Iguana, the boss is usually there. I mean,
I went to Papa Top. That's it. I ended my whole fucking package journey. I stayed in Monaghan. I just drank at the camper by myself. That's sad. I'm an outgoing person. I love going to bars. That's Donnie. I've been at bars to bar every weekend. I love bars. I would rather drink by myself at the camper than to go to anywhere in fucking Pecos, Texas, and I did.
so how is, I've only been to Scotty's one time in Texarkana. How's that?
It's different.
Yeah.
Just because
See,
the
the time I went, Tyler Childers was playing, and it was a good damn
Tyler
good
Childers
time.
played at fucking Scotty's?
I didn't know that. That must have been before he got somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Jesus, I didn't know that.
Nah.
That was just, what, a year ago or some shit like that?
Oh, he was already somebody then. See, that place is so
He
weird.
played, and it was good.
They'll have like a bunch
he
of
was
shit
amazing.
bands, man, and then all of a sudden they'll have like somebody who's like, hell yeah. And they'll just get a bunch more shit bands.
Well-
I watched William Clark Green play up on the balcony. The concert got rained out, sold out. It got rained out, and they refunded everybody's tickets. Well, then all of a sudden they post on Facebook, William Clark Green wants to do an acoustic show
Yeah.
up on the deck.
I think
No,
Charlie did
they
that.
set full band up in the fucking corner with
Damn.
that giant banner just like dangling in the back. And they played, and then William Clark Green bought, like, I was with these girls, thank God. I probably never got to meet all of them. I got it for free, by the way. I guess the way I was dressed, like, nobody questioned me. I just walked right in the fucking front door, nobody said shit. I walked in with a Slim Jim. I was much on a Slim Jim walking to Scotty's like 5 o'clock in the evening. It's pouring down rain. And anyways, I get in there and like, I'm with these girls and they're like, hey, come over here, we'll just try to meet him. I'm like, all right. He hangs out with us until 2 a.m. Now, they close at 1 normally. They can technically sell till 2, but they close at 1. And we stayed there till 2 a.m. and he bought all our drinks after everybody left. Like, he bought all our shit. Like, paid my whole tab. I was like, dude, you have to do that? Like,
Man,
he was cool as shit. I could have had a podcast where he actually wants to be on it, but I ain't had time to catch up with him since then because I've been fucking working so much. And on top of that, my truck had broke down and was locked in a shop across town, and I couldn't get a hold of the dude that owned the shop to get the fucking
to get your
keys.
stuff out. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, dude, this is so unfortunate. I'm like chilling with this dude that is who I thought was probably going to have anything at the least be slightly dickish. Was not at all.
Well, and he's
was just an excellent, nice dude.
Yeah, and he's also amazing. You know, if you ain't listen to that cat. He's everything he does is pretty good.
His songwriting's immaculate,
Yeah.
and like the music that goes along with the songwriting's good.
Yeah,
Ringling Road is like a fucking masterpiece.
Nah, man.
You know, who thinks of that song? It's not that, no, technically the song really isn't good. It's just about a fucking circus. Who gives a shit? It has no meaning to it. But the writing to it, like, who thinks of that?
Nah,
Who thinks of that in general?
I dig on it a lot, man. You know, you talking about whenever they just let you in. That was what was funny when we was down in Padre. We was all just, like, me and my little brother, we done played the night before, so we was like, well, fuck it, we're in Padre. Let's just hang out for 3 or 4 days, be on the beach or whatever. And then everybody kept on coming over asking for pictures with us. And we done headline the South Padre Biker Rally. I was like, oh, they fucking know the White Trash Wannabees. Kind of like almost a little cocky feeling. No. Sublime's playing there like in 3 days.
I would love to see you get a big head just so I can shut your ass down.
No, I'm telling you.
Sorry, I know you've been too long. He's always been super nice. One day I want to see Donnie get a big head. I was like, Donnie, you ain't shit. Don't forget.
All these people kept on asking for pictures with us, and I was like, oh yeah, let's take pictures with them. Yeah, we're all. And then they's like, finally after 10, 15 people asked for pictures of me and Dodson, they're like, fucking Sublime, man. We just took a picture with Sublime. I was like, does nobody look like musicians down here or what, man? Because I
would have went along with it. I'm so bad about it.
I didn't tell nobody. I just like, yeah.
I'd have free hotel rooms. I'd have been staying in the best motherfucker there. I'd be like, we Sublime, bitches.
But it's like, but really, what does Sublime look like? Does anybody know?
I couldn't tell you. I was just thinking in my head. I was like,
yeah, no. I mean, the main guy's dead, you know. So I was like, well, we're definitely not him.
So obviously they're not real good fans.
I mean, seriously, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, I'm not gonna burst.
You just assume a band's Sublime, like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just because they was there like 2 or 3 days later, they was gonna be there like in 2 days.
With no front man?
Well, the guy named Roman or something fronts the band now.
He can't be that good.
I guess, dude.
His name's Roman. He can't be.
Well, they didn't have no pictures of him. It just said.
All I'm saying is a guy named Roman in a band called like Sublime. That don't go together.
Yeah, well, hey, we took pictures with them. We made them feel real good. They just gonna be embarrassed whenever they finally run into somebody.
It was like, we know, man, y'all are not fucking Sublime. This is Sublime. It's like, no, this is White Trash Wannabes. Why are you calling them white trash? Sublime's not white trash.
Yeah, no, they was buying us beer and stuff. We took it. I felt not real bad about it afterwards.
I wouldn't have.
Let them buy it.
Man, I used to hang out with the Panola Rodeo team a lot because it's Cheyenne. Like, she was friends with a bunch of their girls, and that worked out good in my favor, too. But, I used to go hang out with them, and like the guys were like, they were chill as fuck, man. I was the only guy that could stay at the cabins, you know, where all the girls stay. I was the only guy that could stay there because the rodeo, like at rodeo coach come up and kick everybody out with me. And I never got it until one morning. I'm outside. I ain't got no shirt on, no shoe, no socks. Smoking a cigarette on the front porch. And he's like, man, do you ever notice I don't kick you out of here? And I'm like, yeah, man. And he's like, I was like, why is that? He said, I just enjoy seeing whose cabin you're going to be staying at every fucking morning, man. Like,
Donnie, the way he just said that, he looks like the Marlboro Man.
But back to the Sublime thing, where like you went along with the Sublime thing. We would go to Graham's. Back whenever Electric Cowboy was Graham's. We would go to Graham's, and I would always be later than all them because I'd get off work and they had to get there, and then fucking college kids just go to the fucking bar, and they all have rich parents, which really don't have nothing to do with anything, but they did have a bunch of rich kids. But anyways, I get there, and I never knew who I was going to be. These motherfuckers have a name and like some kind of crazy shit I did, and they would be telling everybody in the bar. It's like I had like random people going to me, it was like, dude, you're such and such, you do this, I just met all your buddies. And I'm like, yeah, so like I just learned to be able to go along with, like, no matter what my profession was, I could go along with it. And mostly be like a bronc rider. Like, they knew I roped. So they'd go like bronc rider, bull rider, like fucking calf roper, some bullshit like that they knew I didn't technically know anything about, but I could just go along with it. I had a snaffle bit for charity belt on that I got from my dad, just because my mom had all my belts, a little case thing. So, all my buckles. So I had this snaffle bit. I don't even know what the fuck it was from, man. And like, they knew I had that on, so they would make up some shit about the snaffle bit for charity, how I'm a fucking world champion and shit. And I'm just having to go along with this shit with these people I don't even fucking know. And if I correct them, it's going to make all of us like jackasses. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go along with it.
We did that shit with Aubrey.
I dated a Hooters girl for like 3 months one time. I ain't gonna say which one. I've dated a couple of them. I ain't gonna say which one this one was. Because all my friends convinced her, and this was all my Linden friends convinced her, I was a PRCA team roper. I was a professional team roper. Like, I had all this money and shit. And I'm like, I didn't know this till I'd been talking to this girl for like a day or two. She hadn't been over she would drive from Texarkana to Jefferson every single night. And she would text me and ask me. I had to break it off. It got creepy. Like, I wasn't even inviting this bitch over. And she'd just text me and be like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? And I'm like, I've known you for like 5 days. Like, don't, you just, I mean, come over, but ask. You know, I ain't gonna turn it down, especially them barbecue shrimp, man. You get the, so, anyway, because that's what I got all the time. But anyways, so I didn't know until one night. She was like, yeah, so like, when do you guys start doing rodeos again? I'm like, dude, I haven't rodeoed in like 3 or 4 years. Like, I work for a living. And she's like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, we're not sitting on the couch. Andrew Beavers was living, we were living together. And she was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, like, I haven't picked up a rope in a couple of years now. And she's like, well, they told me you were a professional team roper. And I was like, who did? And then she told me who it was. I was like, them motherfuckers done got you, girl. Like, wrong tree to be bargaining up. Like, I work for a living, obviously. And anyways, I stuck with it for a little bit until that whole, like, inviting herself over every single freaking... And she was driving an hour, like, and 10, 15 minutes.
Dedication.
Yeah, that's dedicated. It's too dedicated for me.
So how long did it, I mean, that 3 months, I mean, how was it?
Pretty good. I mean, you gotta think. I got whatever food I wanted to from Hooters for free.
Yeah.
And then I got like an 8-foot tall, skinny, big titty girl every night. And it worked out my favor, but...
So after she found out...
No,
like,
she stuck around. She didn't care.
Oh,
She was just
okay.
like... That's what got her, like, initially. Like, because they kept talking me up. And they were like, you need to get with this guy. She's kind of a whore, I ain't gonna lie. None of my friends have been with her, but apparently she had a reputation. I didn't know. I didn't care, man. I wasn't trying to date the girl.
She still...
You need to change his diaper.
Okay.
I'm not going to change that shit.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. Donnie got to change the diaper.
I don't know how long you've been letting him running around in here and there like that, but
I mean,
He's kind of been over that way, really.
really?
there ain't no way that Ronnie is
We need smell.
You gotta leave that in there.
Yeah.
We haven't even
Nah.
put nothing up our noses. We got good sense of smell.
Nah. He obviously hadn't done that.
Oh, he done it. It's your turn.
Anyway, I don't care, Nikki. Just go
We'll,
back.
we'll pause. We'll pause. Go change it. We got to take a break for a minute after I just told that story on a fucking podcast.
Yeah, get this shit on there. Damn.
Uh,
We had a buddy out there one time. We got the enclosed trailer with the little side door, and one of our buddies, he gets fighting mad when he gets drunk, and all of a sudden he's all fighting. It's like they get me on stage. They're like, Donnie, take a break. I go out there and they're like, he's trying to whoop everybody. So I was like, well, fuck it, let's just throw him in the trailer and lock the door, you know? So we did, and it was like goddamn King Kong and this motherfucker like, boom, boom. I'm like, fuck, you gonna break my trailer? Let's get this fucker out of here. And the cops show up, and as soon as the cops showed up and he was acting all crazy, I was like, all right, good luck. And he ends up
Open the back door and say run out like a bull.
He like one of them goddamn like he's somebody doing tests on an animal, and he's like, oh, he's going crazy. He starts trying to whoop this cop, and they was whooping his ass, and he was like, he kicked this cop in the chest. He gets tased like 3 or 4 fucking times, you know, and I was like, damn, I should have left him locked up in there, I guess, but I mean, it wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna work inside there. The cops are gonna be like, hey man, what the fuck's going on? But
They take him to jail?
yo, they took him to jail. The only thing that they took him to jail for was public intoxication, though. They let him go for assault on the police officer because he kicked that police
Probably like
officer
9 different things.
right in the fucking chest.
Ooh,
And
Spartan kicked him?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, no, he was on the ground.
Oh,
Like, he was on the ground.
shit.
They was like, trying to,
That's really bad. You never kick a cop while he's down.
no, I'm
That's
talking
even
about, no,
worse.
he was on the ground.
Oh, he was on the ground. He
This cop
kicked
was
up.
like trying to like get on top of him, and he kicked him in the chest, which, you know, they got them big vests or whatever. And I mean, he was crazy. But you meet this cat, he's the nicest person ever, man, when he's sober. But god damn, he's like incorrigible, man, over there at that deal. It was fucking crazy.
we used to get down at the football field in Jefferson too. I know. I got like 2 fucking public intoxications there. But we used to get down there. It used to be pretty cool. During a football game. But
Man, them cops over there, they let me away with way too much because, they.
The Omaha cops?
No, the Jefferson cops.
The Jefferson
They pulled me
cops.
off one time I'm playing over there. It was
I say nobody got off with the Omaha cops.
No.
You was going to jail if you got pulled
shit, no.
over. You would have if you were the sober person at the bar, you didn't drink a drop, and that cop pulled you over afterwards, you was going to fucking jail.
Yeah.
They was gonna get that bail money at least. Fuck the ticket.
Oh,
They
yeah.
was getting that bail.
That's why that bar's not there no more, I mean, them people, they shitty folks. But, no, the Jefferson police, they fucking love me for some reason. Like, one time they pulled me off, they might be different police now. But anyways, they pulled me off stage. It's like Mardi Gras. And they're like, we need to see you, Mr. Dodson. Then you break. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to jail.
In the middle of the show. That's rock star as
yeah.
fuck, though, man. It's about
Was
rock
that
stars.
fucking last Mardi Gras?
No, it's been a couple Mardi Gras ago. And they pulled me off, and I was like, okay, what's going on? They're like, what do you think about these women getting up there getting naked on stage? And I was like,
I like it. I like it a
for
lot.
I'm for it.
I was like, is this a serious question? I think people are like, I don't mind it. And he's like, okay, well, what do we need to stop? I was like, well, if they get too crazy, like they start falling around, don't let them fuck our shit up,
They start like squirting all over the stage like that X video did.
Yeah.
They should probably stop it because that time we almost slid down in bodily fluids,
God, man, that we're still cleaning our shit up from that. But
check out Biker Rally on X videos and White Trash Wannabees are playing with a bunch of old bitches, just like getting down.
Yeah,
Where the
starting.
video comes back into play.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, and you just missed out on the
It's like a
Mardi Gras video.
2-hour long video too.
Yeah,
I didn't know that until like after me and Nick got home. I never watched that video. He was like, "Oh, dude, it's like 2 hours long." Brought it up.
No, you watch it. There's so much stuff going on. The guys, all they sold me, they said over there at the Jefferson thing, they said, "So you don't mind these girls being on stage?" And I was like, "No." It's like, well, when they show you their titties, make sure they show everybody their titties. All they wanted is for them to be able to see them too. And I was like, okay, I'll make sure that shit happens. So I made them do a little circle every time, So. But yeah, we're going viral on X videos. Yeah, it's pretty. I've never been so proud of the band.
It was like 20 or 30,000 views, if I ain't mistaken. It was a shit ton, man.
I think a lot more than that now.
Oh, it had to be, because that was months and months ago.
Yeah.
I shared it a couple times.
Did you? That's the reason why they got the share thing on the porn thing. I was like, I've never wanted to share. Like, man, this is the one that really gets me off. Let me share this fucking.
Not to
Well, I saw
Facebook.
it. Well, I heard about it off a podcast. I actually went and looked.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Well,
it's
that's
pretty-
where the share button actually came into play.
Yeah,
I
we
was
got
like, you know what?
very few stories in that little 10-minute podcast
Yeah.
we did that one time.
But that was one of the main ones.
Me and
Yeah.
Nick pretty much. Remember that
God.
one-legged biker dude that was was getting in Nick's shit over sitting in the way?
Yeah. All right, well, we were supposed to be playing the whole fucking time anyways. And it's like, okay, well, let's just wait around till we're all really good and drunk before we do this last one.
And they're just going to take a break. That's it. We just want to take like a 30-minute break.
Yeah, we ain't
5 minutes into that.
we
You
ain't
hear
played there
Donnie
since.
going, we just fucking sat down.
Yeah.
Circle N's a nice venue, but they really were kind of dicks about that. And then, about the break thing. But then
Yeah.
at the end, they were like, if you want to keep playing, you can. Like at the
we-
very end, and we
we
were fucked up. You were like, fuck yeah.
We played an extra like 30, 45 minutes. But I mean, hell, we weren't trying to be no dickhead. We didn't take much breaks beforehand because we was going to take a long break and do that deal at the beginning. But then we just waited till we were all hammered.
I didn't even dance on a black girl. I was fucked up.
Yeah, I had to call you out.
Yeah,
I
you
got
did,
to every
too.
time. Yeah.
She's a good looking old black girl. I'd have.
So what's that story?
At least he didn't knock my teeth
No,
out.
there was
That's
some
amazing.
black girls
Oh.
sitting like at a couple tables over, and Nick's like, "Bet you
Oh,
won't
she
go
was
talk
ready.
to him, trying to be a dick." And I'm like, "No, motherfucker, like you don't know me. Like, I like black girls for real. So I'm over there like hollering at them." And I don't remember what song. Donnie's playing some rap song, and I'm over getting down, dog. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I told him, you better go over there and get that girl. I think we was playing Genuine or something.
And then that one dude's wife. Remember them people you knew that they were sitting at the table like on the other side of the stage from us?
Yeah.
The dude's wife kept hitting on me, and you were like, "She's a whore, man." I was like, "Okay."
Damn. I don't know. I mean, maybe they just swing. I know a bunch of swinging folks, and she maybe
I
just...
just don't get the whole swinging thing, man. Like, I mean, I get like, man, my wife wants to bring another chicken. Like, that's cool, but ain't no way a dude's about to fuck my wife.
You ain't ever went home with a swinger?
Yes, I've done that. I'll tell y'all that story. So, I went to a Reckless Kelly concert. I'll never forget it. I went to a Reckless Kelly concert. It's like November 10th of like 2 years ago in Lindale, Texas at, now it's Texas Music Bar and Grill. But used to, it was Love and War. And I'm by myself, and I'm chilling, and I ain't got no weed, and I'm pissed about that. I can't find none. I don't know nobody, you know. It's not my hometown or nothing. I really don't know anybody but business owners, and they're not fucking helping me. And I hear these two people around my age, good-looking girl, man, and her boyfriend were talking about pot, and I don't remember what they were talking about, but I turned around, I was like, hey, you know, like, y'all have some. Like, it'd be really great if you could share some with me right now. Or, like, maybe if you had some to sell, that'd be even better. And they were like, no, we were just talking about we're from Colorado, and it's so easy to get. We can't find none in this town. And I'm like, well, fuck. You know, so anyway, we get talking. We start taking shots to counteract, you know, the fact we got no weed. We just trying to get fucked up at that point. And that dude's like, I'm about to go to the bathroom. So he walks off. Me and that girl are sitting there talking. And all of a sudden, she's like, I will fuck the shit out of you. And I'm like, huh? Like, I thought maybe even I was like, had something going at that point. I was like, oh, wait, what? Like, it was just so, like, in the middle of a conversation. Like, it wasn't even like, there was a pause, and then she said, she, like, cut me off to say that. And I'm like, all right, your husband just, or they weren't husband, had been engaged, and they were getting married in, like, a couple months. And, like, she wanted to bring it, I don't know why, and I don't know why he was cool with it, but wanted to fuck another dude before they got married. I don't know if it went the other way around with another girl or what, but there wasn't no girl involved in this shit, except for that one. And she was like, no, like, we done talked about it, like, you know, we want you to, like, come home with us. Like, you know, we agreed it would be a stranger. And I'm like, where y'all live? She's like, Holly Lake. No, she's like, what's that place? Hideaway. In Hideaway. You know where Hideaway is out there by Lindale on the interstate, Hideaway Lake? It's like the richest part of anywhere around there. And I'm like, are we going to like y'all's parents' house or something? They're like, no, it's our house. And they got like a $500,000 fucking house. And I'm like, Jesus, man. They're like, no, you know, like, and they told me beforehand, they're like, if you're not comfortable, you know, at any time, like, you say it's no, like, we're just going to go over here and chill for a little bit, and we'll see where we're at in a little while. Right, all right. Get over there, the dogs chill, like, fucking, I'm chilling out playing ping pong, like, it's
like
fun.
how
I'm
you
good at
mentioned the
ping
dog.
pong, you know?
Yeah, like that's
I
like
weird.
how you mentioned
First
the dog.
thing he mentioned, dog. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're always in a good environment with a dog. You're just like chill as fuck with a stranger coming over to fuck his mom, pretty much. And
Did he bark
anyways,
at all whenever you walk
no,
in?
man, he just chill. And I don't know, man. I'm a pretty good person. Like, you know, they say dogs are good judge of character. Like 98% of dogs fucking love me. But anyway, without me even talking, like, they don't even bark. I can see my truck almost. It's just like, that nigga's cool. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Hey,
I
getting
get
a big
there
head now.
and I chill
Yeah,
for a
they
little
done
while.
it.
Yeah.
And finally, that dude goes inside, like me and that girl on the porch. She was like, well, we got an extra door to the bedroom. And at this point, it's almost like she's trying to sneak me into the bedroom. And I'm like, this nigga does know about this, right? And she's like, yeah, just he going to the living room, he going to go watch TV. And so we go in the bedroom, we start doing our thing. I look back, this motherfucker's in the corner beating off in a chair.
Oh God.
And I was like, what the fuck? So I kept going, of course, and then I just bounced out. And I still talk to a girl, and they're not married or anything.
Oh, they're still not married.
They're not together.
Was
I don't
your-
know if I had anything to do with that.
Was your
It
hair
wasn't my
blowing?
fault. It had nothing to do with me. Like, who wouldn't have accepted that
Nah,
offer?
he was thinking about you while he's jerking off. You don't understand that. You know
Oh,
what
that's
I mean?
fine as long as you don't fucking touch me.
Yeah,
Did
right.
they have the AC on? Like, was your hair blowing like it is now? Or?
I know it's pretty
I'm
hot.
I'm not sure if I had a long hair or not. Why do I keep mentioning my hair, man? Like,
It looks good. You know what's funny is, like, we hang out at a lot of these nudist resorts, which is more or less swinger resorts.
Yeah. I
And
feel like that's you know what? Up until now, I never thought about it, but I feel like it's almost a given. if
no,
you really think about
yeah,
it.
no, I mean, like, if you go over there, like, everybody's fucking
Makes
everybody.
sense.
Yeah, and like, even the biker rallies, like, we go play these things, and
Bikers are different breed of people,
everybody's just fucking everybody, you know. So I mean, like, it's not no big deal, but like, our drummer, this one guy comes over, he's like, "Hey, my old lady wants to talk to you in the camper," and I was like,
Jay's just to fuck
We
this
know
other
exactly
dude's
what
on
this. All he's gonna do is go in there and disappoint. You know, like not really. I'm just playing, Jay.
You lying your ass
But no,
You're gonna apologize to Jay on the Texas Meltdown.
no, fuck him. Actually, but he probably would disappoint. But anyways, he
Disappoint?
no, he
He would
might.
be disappointed or he would disappoint.
Nah,
like,
he would disappoint probably, you know, because he was like, I ain't going in there. I ain't going in there. I was like, Jay, go over there, man. Like, damn, you ain't got nobody in. Just go over there and do that. He's done the old man. Like, this is different. Like, you're like, what's going on? Well, no, the dude told him, my woman needs to talk to you about something. She's a good looking lady. And then he's like, and finally he goes over there and he's like, rings back. He's like, let's just hang out and play music and shit. I was like, okay, but
you
know,
got to go in that camper.
Yeah.
Like, I'm leaving right now. And you're going with me if you don't go in that camper.
I mean, well, believe me, this son of gun,
I will ruin your night if you don't, because you're gonna ruin my night if you don't.
These son of guns, like we play these things, and no matter what they do with their lives, these people make a lot of money for some reason, I guess. Like, in order to be a really good swinger, you got to make like $1 million a year or something like that. Because we was hanging out at this one nudist resort.
So did Jay ever go in that camper?
I mean, I don't know. I had to ask Jay.
Don't fuck with me, man. Did Jay go in that camper or not? I want to know the answer. That's very vague. Like, I'm not sure if you're trying to throw me off in the way that he did, or if you're just trying to make it sound like he did, but he didn't.
Now I don't want to tell you now because I'm going to leave you guessing. Now, he went in there for a second. Very short second.
So he's a quick shooter.
No. He just said, let's come hang out and party. That's what he said. I think. I don't know. Maybe he's a quick shooter. I don't fucking know. Anyways, but no.
Well, he's your drummer. You should know at least know that about him.
I do know. He didn't do anything like that. But no, believe me. Like, we was partying at this one place, one of the first shows we ever played, and we've been playing down here in this town for forever. And like, I thought we was kind of like half-assed, like rock stars in this little town. And all of a sudden, the guy who's throwing the party, he comes over to me. He says, "Hey man, we're done partying. It's time for y'all to go." And I was like, "Okay, well let me just grab my bass player and drummer." He's like, "Oh, the drummer can stay." I was like, "What?" This is his first.
I'm not gay or nothing, but if y'all don't know Jay, Jay's a very attractive dude. Like, he's a really good-looking guy, and he has a lot lot of charisma. Like, he's like one of the coolest motherfuckers I've ever met.
Sex mode.
Yeah.
I just said no. I was like, "What? Jay can stay?" Like, y'all know me. This is his first time to this
He's a
town.
stranger.
From 5-6 hours away from where we're from. And they're like, "Oh, he can stay." I was like, "Okay." So then the next day,
Fuck y'all, fuck Jay.
Me and Dodson, we come over there, and I felt like a little kid, you know. I was like, knock on the door. It's like, "Is my drummer here? Can he come out and play?" Like, I was like, I've never felt like such a little kid in my whole life since I've been a little kid. That moment, I was like, "Oh, well, can he come out and play?" They're like, "Oh yeah, hold on 1 second. We'll go get your friend." And I was like, "Oh my
They probably don't even
God."
know his name at that point.
Yeah,
It's like your friend,
man.
I can't remember.
No, it was funny as hell, man. I never will forget that. Like,
I took a girl home not too long ago. I'm not gonna lie. This girl forgot my name. Like, I didn't even know who she was. This is a stranger, you know. It's like one of them one night things. And like, we were in bed. She kept calling me babe, and I'm like, whoa. You know, like,
you know the
skirt,
signs?
skirt. I was like, "Do you
He
know
said,
my
"Whoa."
name?" And I didn't know her name either, but I wasn't gonna say that. But I was, it don't matter. Like, I'm Casey fucking Bowles. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but fuck, I mean, like, you're some random girl from the bar and you knew who I was before you met me. Like, Jesus Christ, you should know my name. Anyway, she forgot my name, and then I got her friend by being in bed one night. I took her friend home, but we weren't gonna have sex. We wasn't. She wasn't gonna put out, but she was gonna like. It don't matter. Anyway, we're laying in bed, and I got some off of saying, "Why don't we just role play?" And I just like went. I was like, "I ain't got no arms, no legs," and she was like, "All right, I got you."
So when the government comes into play,
Yeah. I made this big long storyline about how I was a samurai for the U.S. Army, and like I went like overseas.
A
and, like,
samurai for the
I had
U.S.
like
Army.
a specific
That's
country.
pretty good.
No, I had like a very, very like specific storyline that was just way outrageous. I mean, like I had a specific country and shit. I was so fucked up. I wish I remembered like the whole fucking story. I would call that girl, but I doubt it would go over well. But anyway, she could tell you the story because
Well,
it got
she
me
wouldn't
laid.
remember your name.
You got me
You'd
laid.
have to say this is Samurai.
I mean, she knew my name after that. I mean, I still slept with her for a long time after that. But
Okay.
it was just
You
that
got her
first time
number?
we had to click. Yeah.
What is it?
I'll give it to you. She sat in on like several episodes. She never
Yeah.
talked though. I wouldn't let her talk. I mean, I wasn't like controlling, wouldn't let her talk. But it's
That's
like
it,
this is
yeah.
our shit, you know. Like it would probably
Sit over
cut
there
down.
and just listen.
It would probably cut down on my end if like you were talking on here. Like I'm here.
We got-
I can't say her name. I about to say her name. I'm not going to though. But she was like, oh, such and such. I'm over here with Casey. Like, girl, get off my shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
She was really chill though. She was just a whore, man. I don't know why I always wind up with those. That's the second story right there, like that, and that was actually a very short time frame that all happened in.
So you want to tell that story about the franchise? I know we started on it earlier, but we didn't go in depth.
Jesus, man. So me and Ricky randomly are like, hey, let's go to the franchise. It was me, Ricky, and Matt. And we're like, let's go to Jefferson. Matt had never been to Jefferson, and me and Ricky hadn't been in a long time. So we go out there, and like, we didn't expect to see nobody we knew. Like, you know, we didn't know who hung out there. We hadn't been there in years. And we walk in, like, Hugh Springs people were in there. And I wasn't there 5 minutes, and I'll cut this name out. Kyle Downs hands me 90 milligrams of Adderall, 330s. And I swallow these bad boys. And he says, I said, how many of these should I take? 'Cause I'm not really a big Adderall player. I don't really know, like, I don't know how much to take. Like, I've had somebody give me a 10. It really didn't do much. Like, just kind of sobered me up a little bit. So I'm like, well, you know, like 90. It'd probably be pretty good, you know? Mm. So he's like, I'd probably just take one and, like, let it sit for an hour. And I'm like, we only got a certain amount of time in the night, bitch. I can stand up all night. So I just slam all 3 of them. And so then I go over to the franchise, and these somebody still ain't kicked in. We go to the back, and we're doing all kinds of blow. And I'm so scared out by the time we get done doing the blow, because them Adderall kicked in while I was doing that I fell down in a ditch, and he had to help me out of it. And I was like, holy shit, man. And then I had to go in and hang out with my family, and I had to hold my shit down. Nobody ever mentioned anything, and that was the family members that if you was fucked up and they knew it, they was going to say something. And they never did. I don't know how. I ain't gonna lie, I had such a death grip on that bottle, like, I feel like I could have broke that beer bottle with my hand, like, just...
You walked out the back door with the same beer bottle you walked back in with, but you had the same grip on it as you walked out with, as you walked back in.
I'm telling you, man, like, I don't have any self-control. That's why I had to quit doing shit, man. I just don't have any self-control. It's like, it's not about the fact I'll keep doing it for, like, days on end or anything. It's just like that night, like, we used to get fucked up. And that's just not right to do that.
No, I told you that one time I did way too much. I was like, I felt like I was gonna rip the steering wheel off my car. I was like, I feel like, God damn, man, I'm like Superman or something.
I feel like my steering was a little loose, you know, because of like those nights.
I had to go get an alignment the next day.
I had to torque that old motherfucker. It's like, it's not your wheels, man. Your steering wheel is literally like out of place. What happened?
Now,
They said it was fine, but I ended up hitting a tree. So
you know what you're talking about, like the 90 milligrams of
Adderall's
you
bad,
know,
man. There's so many
like,
kids now that, not kids, but like younger group that's so addicted to that shit.
no,
It's so cheap to get, man.
But
Like,
I mean, and it's also pretty amazing. It's an amazing drug. You know, you can drink all night long and feel fucking amazing, and it don't make you feel like shit the next day. It ain't like doing hard
shit,
drugs.
dude, every time I take an Adderall, dude, I come down with that shit hard.
Nah,
dude.
I don't. I feel amazing next day.
But I
feel
do
like
that
I
with
never
any
done
kind of
anything.
speed, man. Like, I do blow, like, next day, I won't blow my
What?
fucking head off, man. Like,
Nah, that's
I'll
just
need like a day.
I sleep 14 hours, don't make a fuck. It's just something about it. I
Yeah.
will wake up, and I just, for the next 24 hours, like, I'm on the verge of just ending it. And for no reason. My life's going good. It's just, for some reason, man, there's just something there. I'm just like, fuck
I
my
need a
life.
Man,
day to recover.
that last time we was going to the beach, Crystal Beach, to play topless Jeep thing, I talked to my buddy. I was like, hey man, I know you know what'll speed you up, because I'm done. Like, I done been partying for 2 or 3 days without no sleep, and I was like, I need to do something, and I ain't got no drugs. He's like, get you a red line, bro. He's like, don't drink but what the dose says. And I was like, fuck, I'm a man. I drank this whole fucking red line, and I felt like my hair was growing and shit. I was like, what the fuck? It fucked my whole night up. I was like, then I see my buddies, and they had
like
a bunch
red,
of...
Is this how I'm going to die? Like, I've done all these drugs. I'm going to die for fucking red line. Just
some,
kill your whole
some
life.
fucking red line shit. I was like, I can't believe this shit. Like, I'm tripping, and, like, my whole night was screwed up, because then I started actually doing real drugs and drinking and stuff. And about 1 o'clock in the morning, when everybody's starting to go to bed, I start feeling normal. I was like, let's party, and everybody's done. I'm like, fuck this.
Fuck it, I'll sit out here and play on my phone by myself.
Oh, man, I did, man. It was dumb.
Man, I ain't never had a freak out. Like, I've never just felt like I was dying. One time, though, it wasn't about dying, but I was sitting on the porch whenever I had that house on Locust Street. It's a nice brick house, man. It's me and Tyler, my old co-host. And one of my best friends from Linden, man, wasn't Ricky, but it was another guy. He went to jail for it, but he was slinging the shit out of some coke, and he would meet me at my house every day after work. And we just get fucked up, you know. Like, it wasn't like an addiction or nothing. It was like there for 2 weeks, we didn't do nothing, get fucked up. Well, then I started noticing, man, every morning, like, this, you could hear the town wake up. Because I'm right in the dead middle of fucking Texarkana. And you could hear this town go completely silent to just an uproar. Like, there'd be alarms going off on cars and shit, you could hear it. And all of a sudden, one night, I was looking up the tree, I was like, oh, the squirrels are coming out. And the next thing you know, there's like fucking hundreds of squirrels just fucking everywhere, man. There's all these fucking squirrels. And I'm like, I know what you're thinking, because Tyler did too, until this motherfucker did the same shit as I did the next night. And then that next morning, and it was the same time every morning, about 8 o'clock, man, you look up, and there's like 500 fucking squirrels just everywhere. There's a bunch, you can't shoot squirrels in town, in city limits. And we had trees everywhere, dude. There's just squirrels.
Can't with a
I don't know how they had enough food to supply all these squirrels. I'm dead serious, man. These motherfuckers are plotting on us. Like, ain't nowhere there's that many squirrels locked in that small of a thing, and they ain't come up with a language and maybe even mathematics.
Man,
but Tyler called me crazy, man. He was like, dude, you need to, like, chill out on the blow. And I'm like, man, I'm telling you, dog, there is fucking a lot of squirrels. And then, like, the next night was, like, a Saturday. So then Tyler stays up all night. And we're sitting out on the porch, and, like, we're trying to smoke weed to come down. And all of a sudden, which you don't do because don't fucking help, it just kind of makes you a zombie. And then, I was like, Tyler, here it goes, man. Because it's like daylight by this time. And he's like, what, man? I'm like, squirrels. And all of a sudden, dude, all these squirrels are around us. And Tyler's like, holy shit, man. He was like, dude, I thought you were literally going off the rails, man. He's like, that's a lot of fucking squirrels. And I'm like, dude, we got to get a pellet gun or something and start axing these sons of bitches. We never did, but them squirrels, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already taken over that neighborhood and we just didn't know it. I bet there's squirrels living in that house. They're paying rent and all.
I ain't heard from none of the people.
They're working
over
at Cooper Tire, building fucking Walmart buggy tires.
Man, you know, like, what's funny, one of the last times I really partied real hard in Texarkana, it was me and my little brother, and I guess I got really, really fucked up, and I guess I told my little brother just to leave me. I was already blacked out at that point.
All right, you were with me. We were at Shooters. I drove you to Shooters, and you told Dustin to go on.
Yeah, well, I wake up the next day, and I don't have a clue where I'm at. And so I go start looking at the pictures on the walls, the family portraits and shit, because I was like, where the fuck are we? And, like, Dustin's not there, Casey ain't there, and I'm like, oh, I know this girl. Let me just go knocking on everybody's door. And so I finally find the only person I knew, she was a musician. I was like, please take me back to where my truck is, wherever we was playing Fat Jacks or whatever. And then she's like, okay. And everybody's feeling like shit. I was like, I've never woke up at a place. I walked outside because I was like, I'll just walk wherever I got to go. I walked outside. I was like, I don't have a clue where the fuck I am. Not even a little bit.
Fucking phone's dead.
Yeah, my phone's dead.
All the time.
No, I'm talking about, like, there was a football stadium.
iPhone too.
Yeah, the iPhone.
Oh, you were
too.
down, was it Arkansas or Texas?
No, well, see, that was the weird thing, is that there was a football stadium, and I was like, well, it might be Texas High, but it might also
you don't
be
ever
like...
You don't ever want to be at the bars on the Arkansas side, wake up on the Texas side, because then you know, like, you made it pretty good ways across town.
Nah, good times.
That was the same night that we was like right in front of the door of Shooters. I mean, not Shooters, but right in front of the door of Fat Jack's. Like people coming in and out, and we were all like had the doors open on Suburban, just wailing them out.
No.
I was like, man, this is sad. After the next day I woke up, I was like, that was so stupid. Like, but nobody said nothing, man. It's just like, I'm telling you, dude, you can get away with some fucked up shit in Texarkana. I stabbed a guy's tire one time in front of 30 people. They wrote police reports on that motherfucker after I stabbed his tire. Nobody mentions I just stabbed this motherfucker. He don't even know till the next day he got mug rips. He thought somebody come to his house in the middle of the night and stabbed his tire. And then blamed me for it. I was like, no, bud, I don't know what you're talking about. But you know you gotta be a fucked up individual with 30 people to watch somebody slash your tire. And then and blame you. Just like, you know, like,
Out of nowhere.
who does that? 30 people that don't know me. I just moved to town. That was a good night. He had a gun, though.
He had a gun?
He had a gun.
Oh, he had a gun.
He had it tucked in his back.
So what provoked the fight?
It wasn't nothing I did, man. I really had nothing to do with it. This dude was just like, he cut a bunch of people's brake lines and shit. And I was like, he gonna cost me. I know all my friends, they ain't gonna do no. They gonna beat his ass, but what's that gonna do? Like, he still cost y'all a couple $1,000. Let's cost this motherfucker some money, you know?
Well, you got his tires.
Yeah, so it's a high dollar tire. Apparently, it's like $500 and some odd dollars. It's like a 35 Middo. But yeah, I ain't bragging about it, man. We probably shouldn't have beat his ass like that. It's like 4 of us stomped this roid head out. It was bad. But I mean, really, in hindsight, it really did take all 4 of us. For real, for real.
One for each leg.
Like, he was beating my 2 buddies' asses whenever I come out the door. I karate kicked Tyler Wilbur in the ear. That first punch I threw was a kick, and I smoked my buddy right in the ear with a square toe. And then I figured out what was all going on, and it all got pretty good.
I went to some like.
How are you still awake, man? You're like 3 years old, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
He's on that Donnie time.
Jesus.
He just want to hang out with me.
You won't let him have a beer if he's on Donnie time.
Yeah. No, he's got a beer. Look at him. Did you finish your beer? Go get your beer. Get your drink. Go get your drink.
Hey, buddy, can you really go grab me one of these? Hey, can you grab me one of these Budweisers out of the fridge?
Hey, yeah, let's do that.
Have you trained him to get beer yet?
Nah. He'll probably drink it before he gets back. Now let's
I mean, we're about the same size. I probably wouldn't take too kindly to that.
Let's try to wind it on down though.
Yeah, we do need to. Well, guys, we are about to shut this bad boy down because we done exposed ourselves, and I gotta cut so much shit out of this. Oh my god, it's gonna take me so long. Anyways, guys, Casey Bowles from Texas Meltdown, Donnie Dodson from the White Trash Wannabees, and our old buddy Zach Wilson. And Donnie's son went and got me a beer. Fucking A, dude, train him. I am out because it is way too late for me.
Yeah.
If you'd like to support the Texas Meltdown, you can go to thetexasmeltdown.com. Click the support button. Type in your debit card information and send me some money. It won't go to me, it'll go to buying t-shirts and other supplies. If you'd like to interact with us on social media, you can go to facebook.com and type in the Texas Meltdown Podcast. If you don't already follow us, you should. Or you can head on over to iTunes, where you're probably already at, and leave a 5-star review. That'd really help to get our name out there. We also have a phone number that you can leave us voicemails on. It's 903-207-9528. You can leave us feedback. You can give us things to talk about. You can ask us questions. I give good advice. Again, that number is 903-207-9528. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt, you can go to the Texas Meltdown Podcast on Facebook and leave me a message. Sometimes I have them, sometimes I don't. But as soon as I do get more, I have one sent to you. They're usually $10. I hope y'all had just as much fun listening as I had recording all this. Signing off is Casey Bowles from the Texas fucking meltdown.